Welcome back to the Heroes of the Storm North American Regionals. And guys, things are getting real serious up in here. We're just about to finish Group B. We just saw Tempo Storm take on King of Blades Alpha in another 3-game series where Tempo Storm did manage to win. King of Blades Alpha gave us a really good show. Now it's time to move on to the last match of Group B. Let's take a look at that bracket to show you where we are in our day. Now we will see a rematch. It will be Cognitive versus Team Blaze. That will be for that second seed in Group B. They'll join Cloud9 in the semifinals as the top 4 moving on in the tournament. We have loved seeing all of your team predictions and those that you're rooting for by using the hashtag HGC. Keep those up. We love hearing from you. And now it's time to watch some more heroes. It's what we love to do. Let's do it now. The first team in this match is Cognitive.
Here comes Cognitive Gaming. Coffin Luck right there in the center, having a fantastic play yesterday on Zagara, bolting over a Gust and landing amazing Maw. Really fantastic play from these guys so far this tournament, but they're still not happy.
They are not happy. They went down to the team they're about to face again, 1-2, and had to face Team Nam. And even that didn't look super smooth for them. There were a couple of times where Nam really capitalized on some mistakes that Cognitive made.
And their challenger is ready to go. It's Team Blaze.
I mean, the story of this tournament is DXN himself. The substitute here for Team Blaze, Jason, not able to make the event. He comes out of nowhere. He's a dorm player with Huge, but I don't think anyone's expecting this good a play from Blaze with the sub.
Yeah, DXN has been on fire, and the tournament is heating up. This is our last match coming out of group stage right here. We're going to see if Blaze can once again take out Cognitive.
We talked to these teams last night when they were feeling a little fatigued, and now we get to see them as they are fresh this morning. Teams, what do you think, or casters, what do you think we're going to see from these teams in the draft?
Well, there's a lot of fun things we can see, Gillyweed. I mean, a few fun stats here. Cho'Gall played 3 games today, Gillyweed, but a 100% win rate. No, it's only a sample pool of 3 games, but Blaze is known for their Cho'Gall. It has yet to lose in the North American Regionals.
So you know who else was playing Cho'Gall? I believe we had Cognitive.
Yes, we did.
So we
on
could
Dragonshire.
we could have a fight between the teams over who gets that Cho'Gall, and that is something. I mean, Cho'Gall will never go out of style for me. I love watching Cho'Gall play.
He is a very interesting hero. A lot of cool dynamics you can see with him, and we're starting to see that he's more impactful on the smaller maps than most teams originally thought. You know, they thought that being able to out-rotate him would be very crippling towards Cho'Gall, but these two teams specifically have been showing fantastic play with him.
Yeah, and even Blaze, Rafflecopter in his interview saying that they could make him work on any map. Yeah. It just depends on what composition they're up against and what they have to support that Cho'Gall. We've seen him a lot with Rehgar. The Rising Storm and the Lightning Shield just does so much for him, especially with the Earth Shield at a 13, being able to give such a big shield because of his large health pool.
We'll take a look at how this draft is going to play out eventually. I mean, both these teams having a high priority on both Zeratul and Greymane. Cho'Gall being played by both of them. I mean, these guys have similar picks and similar playstyles when it comes to their aggression. So, you know, when you do see those targeted bans, you also have to keep in mind that it hurts yourself as well as the other teams. You have to figure out what you're willing to let through. We're seeing Zeratul bans, but if you ban Zeratul, they don't ban Rehgar. Do you get that pick up? You know, there's a lot of strategy right now for just the first pick of the game.
There will be, and we see Cladius here. He whipped out the Artanis Game 2 versus Cloud9.
Another hero with a 100% win rate.
Oh, yeah, from one game.
One game, but he won that one game.
It was, and soundly.
Yes.
The Tassadar shields mixed with the shield overload for Artanis, I was not expecting that. Illidan could get nothing done there, and Cladius he did promise us that he was going to bring Artanis out, but I don't know if I quite believed him, Zoya.
Coffin Luck on the screen right now. I believe he's the oldest player at this event. You know, having a very big history in the competitive video game scene. He won an MLG for Smash. He was a former StarCraft pro gamer.
Right.
I mean, he's been everywhere. You know, he's been legend multiple times in Hearthstone. He is a fantastic just gamer in general, and it's awesome to see him consistently on the stages for North America.
Yeah, he and Faye have recently joined the Cognitive roster after Heroes Rising, and now this is like almost a super team combined with players from several different teams, but we are ready to get into the draft. Our first battleground will be Cursed Hollow, and it looks like that was Blaze's choice of battleground.
Cognitive Gaming going to go ahead and ban out Zagara. Now, there was a trend that started at the beginning of this tournament, as we discuss all the time. The meta shifts during the tournament where a lot of teams were opening up with bans on Zeratul, bans on Rehgar. But now what teams are starting to do from first pick is if you don't ban Zeratul or Rehgar, if the other team does ban one of them, you get the other. Or if none get through, you get Zeratul or Rehgar, whichever you prefer. So first pick bans have changed quite a bit throughout this tournament.
I love how that happens in a tournament every time.
Yeah.
It's just the adaptation constantly, and the team that can do it the best throughout, adapt to every single other team's type of playstyle, is the one that is going to always prevail because they can just constantly be on top of whatever everyone else is just trying to do at that time.
And you're seeing Team Blaze trying to react to this right now.
Right.
Do they let through the Rehgar or do they let through the Zeratul? And I just saw Glaurung doing a little bit of cheer. He might be excited. Maybe we'll see him get that Zeratul.
Yeah, I mean, Blaze wants Rehgar. They have shown time again that that is one of their highest priority supports. They pick him regularly at that first pick point if he is available for them. And, Huge plays a lot of Morales too, but it has been the story of whether or not they're able to get Rehgar in this tournament thus far. It looks like Falstad is going to be the ban. Will we see that Zeratul instant pickup for Cog?
That's what happens when your second pick, if both are available, you either just cripple yourself by not getting one of them and banning the other out, or you get yourself Rehgar. Fun fact about Rehgar, he has a 96% involvement rate in the North American regionals.
Dang!
He has been picked and banned in almost every single game in this tournament so far.
I mean, that really just shows his power. He came out with a big rework. There have been a couple of different nerfs to him. There's another one coming this next coming week as well, but right now he still is very powerful support. He can really enable a team to have more aggression, to have more damage even too with his Lightning Shield. But Li Ming, speaking of damage, once again being picked up by Blaze.
Li Ming played in 18 games for this tournament. First of all, big shout out to D the Hunter for getting us these stats to all the casters.
So
That's what we're using right now. Li Ming played in 18 games with a 72% win rate, the second highest win rate hero of this tournament, Uther being number one with an 80% win rate.
I mean, the Li Ming play has just been phenomenal this entire tournament. Fan showing us that a couple of different builds. We saw the Calamity build come out. We've also been seeing a lot of Magic Missile builds too, but now Cognitive, not only are they going to pick up Zeratul, but they have Sonya and Jaina. Probably will be Cawthon luck on that Sonya.
When we talk about seeing, the double melee assassin playstyle, usually we refer to that or the double bruiser rather. We usually refer to that being a Sonya Thrall. A lot of teams that you do count Zeratul as a melee assassin, but a lot of teams say playstyle-wise he doesn't feel that way. He's more of a poke, a flanker, similar to like a Jaina, where you just kind of dart in and you dart out. So this is technically double bruiser, but it doesn't fit the same playstyle that we've been seeing today with the double melee assassins such as Thrall and Sonya.
Now with that Sonya, will we see an Uther ban here? A Blaze with this next ban, they do have a support, so they could ban one out of their own, try to limit that pool that Cog has. They also have a burst damage, but so does Cognitive, so it was a really good pickup to get that Jaina, knowing that Blaze had already grabbed Li Ming.
Lieutenant Morales banned out from Cog. Iacona not going to be able to play that hero. Team Blaze just trying to force Cognitive onto a support that they might be a little bit less comfortable on. But the thing about Iacona is he's one of the original players in the hero scene. He's been making videos. He's been on teams dating back to the original, I believe it was ESV Wildfire. Iacona has been around for a very, very long time. So you can't target ban him when it comes to supports. He can play everything.
I'm laughing because we have a Cho'Gall ban, maybe the first of many. Maybe it's going to be an issue where they both respect the Cho'Gall from each other so much that they're just going to keep banning it out. But now Blaze with 2 picks here, still going to need a warrior frontliner of some type and something for Cladius for sure, as well as DXN.
Yeah, definitely had to ban out the Cho'Gall there. I mean, Rehgar pairs Rehgar. You have to have Rehgar with Cho. You have to have him. And then with Li Ming, you have so much damage between Li Ming and Gall. Cognitive did not have an option. They had to ban Cho there. It's going to be Muradin himself picked up here for Team Blaze, and we'll have to see what their next damage is. Will we see that melee assassin? Thrall making it very deep into this draft.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to see him. I'll go all the way through here, but Muradin, a very standard pickup there for Blaze. That's a huge comfort pick for Battery. He's definitely the most played warrior he can get. We saw actually Cloud9 denying that from them in Game 3 versus Blaze, and that really kind of hurt them.
Tascar like this pickup here, get the extra sustain to keep Li Ming up, a very squishy hero, as well as, the force walls can help get picks. If you look at this composition, you see the Jaina, that is a very, targetable person here for Team Blaze. You get the Li Ming burst, you get the Tascar force wall. She has no escape until she gets level 20 with Bolts of the Storm, so I really like the Tascar pickup here for defense and offense.
Plus, that seems to be their favorite pick for putting DXN on. He is the sub. They haven't quite adapted a ton of playstyles to go with him yet in the hero pool that he brings in. They put him on Gall too, but it seems to be the favorite to have him on Tassadar. He's had some very good force
Li Ming
walls
game earlier today too, though.
He was on the Li Ming?
Yes, he was on the Li Ming.
Maybe we'll have him on the Li Ming.
I'm assuming he'll be on Tassadar.
Yeah.
And of course, Tassadar, one of the harder counters to Zeratul with that Oracle trait, being able to reveal him. ETC is going to be the warrior pickup here for Cognitive. Now, if you look at the stuns on the end of Blaze right now for that Mosh Pit, we only have one so far. That's going to be Stormbolt from Muradin.
Right. That will be an issue. We'll see what they can get from Cladius to help them out there. Brightwing going to be the last pickup for Cognitive, and I love the baby fairy dragon.
This is what we're talking about. Iacona. You can't ban him out. He's got so many sports. Last year at the 2015 North American Regionals, Iacona had a very memorable game on Battlefield of Eternity, I believe, where it was him and Glaurung making insane plays on Brightwing Illidan. That was a really fun game. I think one of the most memorable games from the hero scene, and we're going to be seeing Iacona's Brightwing yet again.
That was the Brightwing being brought out after that big change to her. That was the first time we haven't seen her in a very long time. So Iacona being very well versed in this hero. And I love that they were going to have the possibility too of polymorph as well if they knew that it was very likely that would have some sort of melee assassin come out from Cladius. And a last pick on Thrall, Zoya.
Yeah. I mean, they needed something A for Claudius to play, and they needed another interrupt, something for Mosh Pit.
Right.
And that's going to be the Sundering.
That will be the Sundering. All right, but still not a ton of interrupts for that. So it's a great point that you bring up, and they're going to have to be really vigilant about making sure that they don't clump up, especially around those turn-in points, the bosses, sorry, the tribute points, and the bosses too.
Yeah, it's really great poke. When we look at the stall, definitely say that Blaze has the better composition for stalling out tributes. They got poked from so many different heroes, but I think Cognitive 100% got a draft they like. Anytime Glaurung has Zeratul, it doesn't matter what the rest of the picks are. They are happy with that.
Yeah. Speaking of the poke, being able to sustain is another thing that Blaze have too for those long tribute fights. The poke war around them before they can finally go in. They have Rhaegar and Tassadar, so they're really going to just be able to keep up Li Ming, Thrall with his Chain Lightning too for a very long time until they can whittle someone down enough, catch someone out of position, and take them out.
Now keep in mind, Gilly, this is an elimination match here, and both of these teams, Cognitive, who has members from former Cognitive, former Murloc Geniuses, as well as Blaze, they have struggled to make a deep run into a major event throughout their entire history as players and Heroes of the Storm. So this set is very important for both teams, not only just getting there, but it finally gets one of these teams that top 4 spot they've been itching for.
That's exactly right, Zoya. The winner of this series will go on to, I believe, face...
Naventic.
Is it Naventic? So yes. They will face Naventic, and that's going to be a tough opponent, but they still want to make it through here. The prize money goes up when they can make it to that semifinal point, and it's only one step away from getting to South Korea, but we are ready for game number 1 between Team Blaze and Cognitive Gaming.
Here on the left-hand side of the map in the blue trunks, it's Cognitive Gaming. Caterpillar playing ETC, Faye playing Jaina, Iacona on Brightwing, Cawthon Luck playing Sonya, and rounding out the team, it's Glaurung on Zeratul.
And playing for Team Blaze in the red, we have DXN on Tassadar Battery, playing Muradin, Rafflecopter playing Li Ming, Yuge on Rhaegar, and finally, playing Thrall will be Cladius.
All right, this is a very intense set for these guys. Not only do they get one more chance at qualifying for Korea if they win this set, but it's a significant prize pool increase for these guys. So everything is on the line in this best-of-3 series here. Taking a look at level 1 talents, Gilly, things looking pretty standard across the board to me.
Yeah, me too. We've got Power Hungry as the choice for Li Ming, and that, except for one Astral Presence we've seen, and I think one Ether Walker, it has been the big choice for Li Ming, being able to get that increased mana back from those regen globes, as well as the increased our ability power too. Now Cattle taking some damage, going to start moving away from that Wind Fury Thrall, and as they clear out that mid waves, we're going to start to separate out into the lanes.
Well, taking a look at the lane positioning, it's going to be the supports in the bottom lane, Iacona versus Yuge. You have to keep in mind the global presence of Brightwing, ability to soak these lanes and then suddenly teleport across the map to be inside a team fight. And you also have to keep in mind the Glaurung flanks. With that stealth, we've seen a lot of plays from these two in the past where Iacona will teleport onto the Zeratul and go for some insane plays.
Man, did you see that bull Faye in trouble and gonna get caught out there, and that will be first blood going to Team Blaze.
Very early first blood, really good aggression coming out from Blaze. You have to understand how your composition plays out. With Zeratul on your team, you don't start getting more momentum until level 7, and then of course at level 13 is when you get that wormhole. This early game, especially with Sonya until she gets level 4, is much weaker than Blaze's.
There's so much pressure from this game. Glaurung going to come in now, try to catch Yuge. Singularity Spike will slow him down, so does the Polymorph, but Yuge just barely able to get away in the nick of time. This is such an important match. Not only is it the one to go to the semifinals, but also it's a rematch for Cognitive.
Yes.
They fell to Team Blaze. They want revenge here. They want to prove that they deserve to get to that semifinal spot, but Blaze, they want it just as badly.
Rafflecopter avoiding that Blizzard combo, and they get a, wow, really great punish onto Faye. Another kill going over to Blaze. Rafflecopter really highlighting the ability of Li Ming as a mechanical player, avoiding that Blizzard, and just getting an insane combo to burst Jaina down from 100 to 0.
Blaze nearly picking up their level 4 talents there. They will grab them soon. We're going to have a tribute spawn, and we'll see if any of them choose to start moving toward getting those giants before that tribute. For now, very intent on making sure they keep up with the lane soak.
Level 4 here for both teams, and you gotta talk about Vorpal Blade when Glaurung's playing Zeratul. There was even a lot of hype about him. He even went into a Reddit thread explaining why he does it, what he looks for when he's doing it and stuff. Just really just a very hard ability to use. Stormbolt does end up missing. Nice polymorph on the battery, and that's gonna save Iakona's life.
It's still going to make sure that he uses his well tap, so that will be down for a little while from now. We could have a tribute fight where he doesn't have that right at the beginning. And speaking of Brightwing, still no pickup on talents, but Cladius in a lot of trouble here. It looks like they will not be able to get him. Okay, so nice. Glaurung going to be able to blink in and secure that takedown.
Slight experience lead here for Blaze as the tribute spawning on the bottom half of the map. This is probably the worst spot that Iacona wasn't wanting to get the spawn, as this is the lane he's soaking. He probably would have wanted this tribute to spawn top lane so he can get a little bit more of an advantage here. But the rotation is happening. Tassadar staying up top, but no one from Cognitive is waiting. They're going to go ahead and force this fight, Gilly.
So this is Blaze just delaying this as long as possible, but they need to make sure they don't lose anybody here. It's okay if they lose the tribute, but they want to delay as long as possible so that they can get ahead in the soak. Look, almost a level ahead at this point. As long as they can keep delaying safely, it's going to make sure that they get far ahead in that experience for those later tributes.
Got about a quarter level lead from that. No kills on either team's end, but the tribute does end up going over to Cognitive. Level 7 very close here for Blades, and I don't think they'll be able to do anything with that advantage. We haven't seen any Merc camp starting just yet. Should be seeing Sonya rotate to start some Giants very, very soon, but that next tribute phase, we'll have to see if that is something that Blaze is wanting to contest.
So no talents yet for Iacona once again, continuing to troll us a little bit, waiting for those picks.
He actually explained this to me yesterday night when I was talking to him. He says he waits until he needs to use a talent before picking them. He says it's not troll. He says he's not sandbagging or anything. He says he just, until he feels like he needs a talent and needs to show it, he'll wait as long as he has to.
That's very interesting.
It's a very different way to play from any player. Right now he's without any talents at all. I don't fully know what he's trying to hide here, but
maybe he wants to see if he's going to need the cleanse, because you really want to be able to get that phase shield if possible. It's big to have to give that up for cleanse, but there are a lot of lockdown, at least between Thrall and Muradin on the side of Team Blaze. So I don't know if they'd be willing to give that up. And in fact, here comes the Peekaboo and the Hyper Shift and phase shield finally being picked up for Brightwing.
So he did decide you were right. He was contemplating the cleanse, whether he should go full shield build or not. That second tribute's going to go over to Blaze very easily there. They're going for a gank onto Iacona. Nice polymorph on the Claudius. The Wolf does connect, but not enough to kill him. Iacona is just so quick at reacting to these ganks here. Glaurung sitting up above, though. He's definitely looking for Rafflecopter. Here comes Brightwing blinking onto him. They're trying to reposition. Peekaboo used there, trying to do a lot of damage to Raffle. Can he go down? One more blink away, and he's going to be just fine.
Good job on getting away, but Thrall won't be so lucky as Cognitive pick up a quick kill onto Cladius now. And with that advantage, going to keep trying to push this lane. Looking at some of the talents that we have, by the way, it is going to be Calamity. So likely we'll see Illusionist at 13, and then Diamond Skin at 16. More of that harassment style with your teleport, having it up more often as well so that you can be a little bit safer, especially with that Diamond Skin.
The main thing here is the defensive play coming out from the Li Ming. Glaurung is going to be looking at Li Ming and going to be trying to kill Rafflecopter in every single fight that they go into. So the defensive play style, I think, is a necessity in this game.
I also love the pickup of Mental Acuity at level 4 for Tassadar as well, making sure that they have Oracle up more often to know when those Zeratul flanks are coming in for the Void Prison.
Well, looks like a good siege here in the mid lane here coming out from Blaze, just getting a little bit of extra experience. They know they need to make up that deficit to level 10 as Cognitive does have an advantage. Cawthon almost gets the cap, but Battery there just in time. They're doing a lot of damage to him. Nice wolf from Claudius. He's trying to kite back, spinning to win, but he is not going to go down here, and the rest of Cognitive is ready to fight. Experience is so very even right now. No one's soaking, though. I think at this rate, Cognitive will be the first to hit 10, and all it takes is 1 second. 1 second where you have those heroic advantages to make something happen, but Yuge did rotate down. He's soaking experience against Cognitive, and they're collapsing on top of him. Ancestral was used. They did get their heroics first, but that is a long time on that heroic. Jaina's going to fall as well. Will this go over to Blaze?
Man, that was great timing. They knew the rest of the team was chasing down Rhaegar, so they made sure to grab Jaina at the same time.
Yeah.
They got their heroic abilities just slightly before, and you mentioned it. That second means everything. They were able to get a second tribute, so only one more until they get a curse.
Taking a look at heroic skill, it's going to be Ring of Frost coming out from Jaina. This is kind of a staple from Faye, one of her stylistic choices. She's one of the more versatile players when it comes to having your own styles with the talent choices, and this is something she loves to do time and time again.
Yeah, everything else very standard from the players, and Blaze are going to have to give up this boss, but they're going for the fight. Disintegrate comes out, and a Sundering is going to separate the team. Can they get onto Sonya and ETC here? Void Prison goes down, gets 3 members as well as Cattle. Will this go into a mosh pit? Very likely so. 3 members into the mosh pit, and Yuge walks right into it as well. Ring of Frost on the outside of it, and Li Ming and Rhaegar are down.
Really great fight so far. Claudius getting very low. He's trying to kite back. Good shields coming out from DXN, but Claudius is going to fall as well. Caterpillar goes for the stun, but no follow-up from his team. A 3-for-0 exchange. I mean, that just shows you the synergy that this Cognitive roster has. Despite how young they have been as a 5-stack, this is really well done. That Void Prison into the mosh pit, into a perfect 3-man Ring of Frost.
Yeah, that was beautiful. The execution just perfectly on each mark, making sure that nothing overlaps so they can get the full value out of each and every one of those heroic abilities. Now, with that, Team Blaze, everyone is back up. They want to be able to get this tribute so they can get a curse. Will they be able to do so?
Battery trying to reposition himself. DXN getting very low. He's going to fall to Cawthon. Luck up there. They need to back out of this. There's no need to contest this anymore. They just need to give it up, as Tassadar is dead for a very long time. But they're trying to stall this out as long as they can. They do have really good siege and poke, but yeah, they're going to go ahead and get out of here. That's going to be a tied tribute score at 2-2. Next tribute is a curse for sure, Gilly.
Iacona did a really good job of making sure to block the Arcane Orb so that didn't get another delay. Now Tassadar, only a few more seconds until he is back up. Team's moving around, but you mentioned the next tribute will equal a curse, and look who is a full level ahead going into that. Cognitive very close to getting a talent advantage over Team Blaze.
Cognitive doing very well so far in this game. We talked to them last night, Gilly. They admitted, they had not only draft mistakes, but there was nerve issues. There was a lot of things in game that went wrong with shot calling as well, and they said they spent all night talking about it, and they have a fresh start. I saw Glaurung looking very calm backstage, just sitting there, just trying to keep his mind clear, and they look almost like a different team today. This is not as sloppy as yesterday. The synergy between these players is really showing so far in these fights.
Yeah, they said it was a little bit of everything that attributed to it, but they were able to go home, get some rest, come back with fresh minds, and now they're playing phenomenally. Iacona is going to come in. The polymorph goes down onto Yuge, and Cawthon right in there with Wrath of the Berserker, pushing everybody back. The tribute, though, is it going to get picked up by Li Ming? It's so close, but the Void Prison comes out to stop it.
That was a used VP to stall that out, but is it going to be a waste here? Caterpillar goes in for the power side. Nice use of Disintegrate, but only hitting Cattle. The rest of the team did disengage that. It's still going to be a contention here. This is such an important fight. Battery going for the cap, but gets stalled out. Glaurung going deep for Claudius, getting him that very low there. Yuge doing the best he can to heal up his team. Nice poke coming out from Rafflecopter. Cawthon trying to zone out DXN again, and there is that combo we're talking about. Mosh pit in the Ring of Frost, and 2 members immediately fall on the end of Blaze. Dwarf tossing out of the fight. Battery trying to get away. I don't think Glaurung can kill him, but he's going deep for this. Disintegrate using the zone out Cawthon luck, and that's going to be a curse for Cognitive.
Man, what happened is Cognitive had their 13 there. They had the all-important wormhole from that. They had Ice Block if they needed it too, and Spell Shield for Sonya to deal with that damage from Li Ming. And now they have a curse. They're going to start pushing in on all of the structures, and it's going to be a few seconds before everyone from Blaze is back up even to defend this. A great moment for Cognitive in this game.
Yeah, they still have that talent tier advantage. They're split pushing as much as they can just to get not only maximum value, but just maximum map efficiency when it comes to taking structures. And we'll see when they're willing to contest some bosses. Sometimes teams like to contest bosses in this position, but I love this pickup here from Cawthon Luck at 13. Spell Shield is so good versus Li Ming.
There is Brightwing. They're trying to go after DXN. He doesn't have prescience just yet,
wow.
And they're going to take him out because of it.
Yeah, really well done, showing the value of the Vorpal Blade there on Glaurung. He's trying to get out of here. The rest of Blaze do rotate up, but I don't think they're going to be able to get anyone here. They're going for the chase. They don't think they can extend too far. But look at what you're talking about, Gilly. They went for the max experience, and suddenly, even though it was a 1-level lead when this curse started, it's about to be a 3-level lead as Cognitive is getting very close to 16.
That's what happens with those later curses. You know, it was as late as possible. Cognitive, Glaurung going to throw down the Void Prison. Can they get people in here? As Glaurung going to have to blink away. He does get low. Ancestral Healing connects onto Rafflecopter, keeping him healthy, and they're going to reset back up to make sure that Raffle is not in the line of fire from Cog.
Cognitive so close to level 16, about a quarter of a level 2 go, and that's going to be a very long road for Blaze to force their way back into this game. Looks like Cognitive is potentially going to be starting their Bruisers, as well as maybe starting their boss as well. Lyconos rotating down. No, he's going to go soak bottom lane, and we'll see what Blaze wants to do with this time. They know they really can't contest anything. Maybe if they scout out that Cognitive is starting a boss, they can start the top right boss and try and get a trade there, and that's what it looks like they're doing. They think Cognitive's on the bottom left boss. They're going to start the top right, so this is as good of a trade as Blaze can get right now.
Yeah, they saw nobody was on the battleground except for Brightwing, and then they saw that the Bruisers were picked up. It's natural to assume that progression will go straight down to the boss, and they instantly start theirs too. They don't want to get into a situation where they give up one boss and then give up another in defending that first one.
Well, boss going to go to Cognitive, boss going to go to Blaze. We'll see what value these guys can get with it. Bottom wall is down for Blaze, so that boss is going to get some serious push here. We did see a potential gank onto Muradin. In the top lane, it still stands completely. The wall is very, very healthy here, but a big dive coming in from Glaurung. Not going to get anything. If you take a look at the cooldowns on these heroics, we got 20 seconds on Void Prison, and then every heroic in the game will be up by then.
Yep, a few more seconds until they have Ancestral Healing, but that's not a time that Team Blaze wants to be fighting at all. They do not have 16. They're two levels behind of Cognitive too, and Cognitive, realizing this, realizing they still have their fort up top, are choosing to allow that boss to push for free to make sure that they can get some soak here in mid. They're taking down the wall in front of this mid keep.
They're doing a good job of sieging so far, just maximizing their experience. You know, for Cognitive, it's not about winning while you have this one advantage right now. It's by winning when you guarantee yourself 20 versus their 17. They're playing for the long game, just making sure that they will hit 20 so far ahead of Blaze that there's nothing Blaze can do to stop them.
I love that decision too, because by pushing there, they know that the boss is going to go and get that fort, and especially because Blaze has to respond to it. So they're also not soaking. So they're hurting Blaze on multiple fronts, and with that, a tribute spawns, still no 16 from Blaze, and they have to give this one up. At this point, it's entirely possible for Cognitive to get caught right back up in tributes to Blaze.
Well, half level till Blaze gets level 16. And then they'll be able to contest for a little bit, but they have to win a fight one-sidedly. If we look at the last few fights, Gilly, Blaze has been struggling. They've gotten a few picks here and there, but when it comes to an actual team fight, Cognitive has been winning every single one of them. Blaze needs to find a way to re-engage, force the fight a little bit better, and they need to potentially land a Sundering into a Stormbolt on top of Brightwing and kill her off very quickly, because Icon's positioning, his polymorphs and his heals are really what's keeping Cognitive in these fights.
But, they have also been hitting every single mosh pit for max value. Blaze is not really going to have any sort of a good time with trying to stun out the mosh pit, and it's been hitting for a long time. They take a lot of damage, and then the Ring of Frost right afterward too. So they need to figure out a way, a different strategy of making sure that they have one of those interrupts for it.
This is the plays they needed to go for. They saw Fake slightly extended bot lane, and they rotated down the pressure and try and get a pick here. Those are the kind of plays you need to make to get yourself back into this game. They don't get the kill, but they are going to get this fort, just making experience a little bit better. But look at that tribute spawning on the top. That's perfect positioning for Cognitive. They're going to be able to rotate there first.
Yeah, they're on their way there. Blaze right behind, hot on their heels to try to catch up to it too. Will they be able to separate out the members of Cognitive, as Glaurung is toward the side, but he will be, of course, wanting to get the flanks and looking for the long route and making sure he can do that.
Well, level 18 to level 16 here. Battery going for the cap, but not going to be able to get it. This is a lot of poke from Blaze, but they don't have a real way to force the fight. What happens when Muradin leaps in? I mean, Tassadar and Li Ming are poking heroes. They have to siege them down and do a good job of that. A lot of damage actually going down on the Claudius down here. Great heals, but Ancestral Healing used way too early in this fight. This is going to put Blaze on the back foot.
Yeah, that is a huge problem right from the get-go of this fight. Glaurung waiting once again, still has that Void Prison, is going to use it. There goes the Void Prison. Where is the mosh pit to follow? Cattle starting to move in with the power slide in, is going to not hit Claudius because of a great cleanse, but ETC gets taken out. It is a 1-for-1 thus far.
A lot of damage going down on the Coffin Luck here. He's trying to kite back. He's spinning to heal as much as he can. Iakono gets stunned by the Storm Bolt, and he just barely blinkers up. A nice Storm from DXN. They're chasing Coffin. Disintegrate with the reset is going to secure that kill, and that is going to be a perfectly timed curse here for Blaze.
And that was everything because they did not get hit by that huge mosh pit. It only was going to hit one person, and a great cleanse came out from Yuge right away to make sure that it didn't hit. A curse comes in. 3 members down to try to defend this. Glaurung doing what he can, but Faye's going to get caught out here.
Nice Ice Block to stall us out. Yuge getting low, but I don't think Faye's going to get away. She tried to get the kill on Yuge. I like this decision-making coming out from Blaze to go push this keep. It's a little bit greedy with Glaurung still alive, and they didn't go as 4 with Li Ming, but they knew that that boss they capped earlier had taken down Keep Wall, and they can go for an early keep. And look at the experience suddenly getting. All it took was one fight and a curse, and now they're even on experience.
They're caught back up. ETC is now back, but still several more seconds. The respawn timers have been greatly, they're much different because they were able to get that late catch onto Faye, so 30 seconds until she will be back. Rafflecopter's going to push in this final fort of Cognitive, just trying to get whatever experience they can, continue to get an even further lead over Cognitive.
Since the second tribute of the game, Gilly, Cognitive has had an experience lead up until this moment, and it all swung in that fight. Great decision-making coming out from Blaze, really well executed. We'll have to see what they plan to do now with this downtime. They're on even footing now. They've been playing from behind this whole time. They were able to force their way back into this game. Now they need to know how to play when they're on even footing. It's a very difficult thing to do with your shot calling. You have to be able to adjust it to, are you ahead, are you behind, or are you on even footing?
Well, Cognitive, with all of those waves that were pushed toward their base, is a little bit ahead once again in experience, but it's very back and forth with just a few waves. They're neck in neck. The one big, well, I guess now with the bosses up, there are a lot more objectives, but Giants did get picked up by Blaze, both out into the lanes as much as they can safely. We've got Brightwing split soaking up in the top. In the mid, we have Blaze soaking too. Just both of them trying to get those Storm talents and make sure they don't get caught in that situation where they don't have them and they get someone picked off.
Well, good soaking from Cognitive. They do get 21st. Gonna be rewind on Zeratul and Brightwing, allowing. Oh, the rewind on Brightwing is so good. You get to keep someone in a polymorph for a very long time. And if they do the Zeratul Brightwing combo onto Rehgar, if Iakono times the double polymorph perfectly, there will be no ancestral healing to keep Yuge alive.
Right, they are going to have that, and with the rewind, that will help too. Bolt of the Storm, by the way, on ETC too, so it may be easier for him to land those really important mosh pits. Also Bolt for Jaina, and finally, we will have Ignore Pain for Sonya, helping her survivability a lot more.
This might be a bit greedy coming out from Cognitive here. They're trying to get this boss. They know they have that 20 tier, but fighting under boss is very difficult, and Blaze is not afraid of that 20. They go for the power slide. Battery taking a lot of damage right now. Avatar been popped. Sunring comes out, but Caterpillar is still fine. The flame from Glaurung onto Rafflecopter gets him very low, and he's going to be the first to fall in this fight.
I think that was maybe a missed Ancestral, but Rehgar trying his best to make it work, and now also is going to get taken out. Caterpillar is on the chase. Forcewall stopping him from getting back with his team. Cladius maybe in trouble, does get a shield from Tassadar to help him escape, but that will be a guaranteed boss if that's what Cognitive goes right back to do, and yes, it looks like that's what they want to do.
I know they were itching to get one more kill. If they would have killed off Claudius there, I feel like Cognitive could have gone for a keep and gone core, but because it was only 2 members down, they're going to go for the safer play. They're going to get themselves a double boss. Iakono's already clearing bottom lane. Will that keep actually go down in the bottom? It's so low. The minions are barely keeping it alive. The boss does go to Cognitive. That last Siege Giant is just barely going to go down, but Iakono has to stall this minion wave to save this keep.
Do it!
Stall it out.
Brightwing, stall for your life!
It's so low. Oh, he does save it.
Good
Okay.
job, Iakono.
Iakono, the hero of that keep. 12 seconds until Rehgar's back in this fight. Cognitive looking like they do want to get this second boss.
Yeah, it's a great pick there. They knew that everyone was kind of separated out. Blaze was starting to pop back up, so pushing with the boss could have been a little bit risky. Rather pick this one up and then potentially push with that one too, but by that point it will also be a tribute, so there's just a constant waves of different objectives on Cursed Hollow, and it's your job to really just make sure to respond to them as best as possible when you're making those decisions.
Well, still no keeps down here for Blaze. Cognitive losing their top keep and bottom keep so very low, so Cognitive feeling the pressure despite having this advantage from that last team fight. You know, they still have to keep those waves pressed out. That's what you see Iakono doing right now. He's shoving in top just to make sure those catapults don't start doing damage to their core.
So by the way, the Storm talents that we have, it will be Murden with Rewind instead of Hardened Shields. 2 Storm Shields between Rehgar and Tassadar, and then Temporal Flux, adding a lot of slows to the team. Bolt of the Storm will be the choice for Thrall, and here comes Cognitive with the push along with this bottom boss.
Front wall immediately goes down very quickly. Boss is getting sieged down very quickly by Rafflecopter as well, just showing you the power of Li Ming in these defensive positions. Already at half HP, but can Cognitive get this keep? And look at this tribute spawning, perfect for Iacona. He's not with his team. He's going to be able to cap that tribute in the top while his team sieges this keep, and he'll be able to teleport in if a fight breaks out. He's waiting patiently. Cinergate goes out. Glaurung taking some damage. He does bolt a blink out. Sundering comes in. Iacona's in the fight, but I don't think they're going to be able to get too much on this. Nice polymorph going down onto Claudius. He does bolt back.
All right, now there's a force wall as well, trying to keep Cawthon in so that his team can go after him, but they're still trying to move back. The keep has been down. The boss gets taken out, and Cognitive going to move away, not going to go after the Siege Giants. They know that Battery is hot on their heels to try to maybe get a pick as they're running away.
Nice retreat from Cog. Great timing there. They did get themselves a keep, so now keep counts 2-2 for both teams, but that you have to keep in mind how low that bottom keep is. If the boss gets taken in either lane here for Blaze, it's a very easy push for them to go straight to core.
Giants will be picked up from Blaze. That's going to help push out that lane where they just lost the keep, so we won't have to worry about that quite as much. Only objective on the battleground is the Siege Giants up here, as well as the Bruisers in the bottom four, or the mid for Cognitive too. So Blaze can guess that that's where they are. They only see Brightwing out on the battleground forever, a split soaking, but this is a nice positioning for Blaze with this tribute.
Yeah, really good spawn for them. It's not a curse for them, it's a curse for Cog. They're looking to pressure this. A lot of damage going down. Nice use of the rewind, and he almost solos Glaurung by himself. Battery showing the power of rewind on Murden with the double stun and the double Thunder Strike.
Yeah, that Thunder Strike does so much damage if you can catch one person. A good force wall from DXN is going to make sure that Cognitive can't try to stall that out any longer. They pick up the tribute. No bosses for a while. What are Blaze going to do? I think they want to try to get that last last keep, or the bottom keep.
They feel like they can pressure it. They're looking for it. They know Wrath of the Berserker is down. All it takes is one little bit of tickle here. Nice posturing, though, from Cognitive. And a lot of damage going on the battery, but the Polymorph did get cleansed. Nice job there coming out from Yuge to keep him alive. If the double poly would have connected, that would have been devastating for Battery.
Siege Giants starting to help siege up. They just want to try to help keep those healthy as much as possible. Taking out the catapults. They've been able to push this far back. They need to be careful, though. All of the heroic abilities are up for Cognitive, and there is the Void Prison.
Disintegrate coming out early to just a zone for the VP. I like the decision from Rafflecopter. Cawthon Luck coming in, go straight for Use, but having to disengage. That was a perfect fight so far for Blaze.
All right, but here comes Cattle once again, and there's the mosh pit, but it gets stunned out. That's exactly what they needed. The Sundering separates Iacona and Cattle from the team, and Cattle will be the first takedown. Cawthon and Iacona so slowed from the Disintegrate, and they take out Brightwing.
Cawthon Luck slow, the blink forward's happening. They get the keep. Two members are down. They get the stun on the Cawthon. He's trying to kite back. Claudius is looking for it, but he just barely stays alive. Is Blaze willing to push in for the core here? It does not look like it. They're being a little bit safe. Look at Rafflecopter's mana. He's completely out of it. He's going to be struggling to force a fight here. Blaze needs to retreat now. They spent a little bit too much time here, but at the same time, those bruisers that Cognitive took earlier have almost killed middle keep.
All right, so middle keep likely, yes, will go down, and they realize there's no way to get back to this now, but there is a tribute, and two members down from Cognitive for a very long time, but Rafflecopter could be in trouble. Will teleport to the safety of her team. Cawthon uses Wrath of the Berserker there.
Glaurung taking a lot of damage here. He's trying to duel Claudius. He does blink away. Trait used on DXN to try and scout him out. They're going for Glaurung. He's having to kite away as well as he can, zoning him out. But that's going to be a curse for Blaze.
All right, what can Blaze do with it? There's only one keep left. Can they win the game right here? You know, the curse doesn't work on the core, but they can still try to make sure they get that final keep. Make sure that if there's a no keep, there's a no-win situation, and then from there, just try to take out Cognitive. Maybe wait until all of the lanes are pushed. Draw them out from their base as much as possible.
Almost all the heroics are on the end of Blaze. Avatar in 5 seconds, and they have everything. Still 30 seconds until Mosh Pit is available for Cognitive. Blaze retreating back as well as they can. They're just playing as safe as they can. They're not taking any big risks. Take a look at the keep count. It's 1-1. Gilly team's doing a great job, and this decision making from Blaze is perfect. They're starting this boss. They know Aya comes back in base. Cognitive has to force fight. Good force wall so far from DXN. They're following this out, but Claudius, I think they have to give it the boss. This is way, way, way too greedy.
Yeah, they definitely want to leash that there. They've pulled them up here. That means they're not at their base defending, so that's still a win. That means their catapults pushing into the bottom, into the top, and then, of course, with the curse pushing into the mid as well. So now just going to continue to try to keep them here, force them into a choose how you lose situation.
Yeah, this is any team's chance to lose this game. They have to be very patient with this. Iacona doing a great job of being back in the base, just showing out these minions. We'll have to see if a fight does happen. Claudius looking for Glaurung. Great scouting here coming out from him with that stealth. I think Claudius has sniffed them out. He's going for the chase.
Now, Cognitive did a good job with that curse. They didn't lose.
Oh, they got him.
bosses.
They got the root on him. He's taking a lot of damage. The Incinerate comes out. He's slowed. He gets the blink back into the VP, but I think he's going to die. He gets the ward level, but no Brightwing in time. Glaurung's dead for 60 seconds.
He tried so hard. He used everything to try to sustain through that, to get through that and juke out the members of Blaze, but Blaze did able to catch him now, but the fight is continuing. Disintegrate slowing down Cattle as they can, and they're just trying to back off away from Blaze, who is on the chase.
They're trying to kite back as well as we can. I mean, you have to give major props to Claudius, not only seeing Glaurung through the stealth, but getting that Blink Wolf perfectly aimed. I can't, it's so hard to pull off a mechanical play like that. That was so beautifully executed. And this boss is possible because of that play. Cognitive, I like this shot calling though. They're making the decision to potentially go for either a backdoor or a boss of their own, but I don't think they can do anything with it.
Yeah, I mean, the boss still has a keep to go through up top. The one in bottom goes to core. It's much more difficult for them, and they know that they really just don't have time to. This is going to be picked up fast. Blaze has a ton of damage to be able to get it, and they will do so. Now, will they push in with this, or will they move up to mid and try to take out that final keep? Do they feel confident enough at this point? It's 26 minutes in to try to win the game off of it.
I think the best shot calling here would be to go to top right boss as well. Getting double boss here is guaranteed checkmate. There's nothing Cognitive can do to stop that, and that's exactly what they do. They see Cognitive defending the bottom boss. They're going to go ahead and get this top boss, and they will push with this one, Gilly. Look at the catapults already doing some damage to that shield. The boss is taking a lot of damage, but it's already at half HP. It's going to get some permanent core damage here, and this second boss guarantees the game for Blaze.
It will. So Cognitive, what can they do? Can they just try to catch out the members of Blaze as they're pushing in with the boss, or will it just be too late by that point, Zoya?
It's too late already. This is a death push coming out here from Blaze. I don't think unless Cognitive has to force a fight right now, wipe them instantly, and then somehow clean up the boss before they lose core. We do see Blaze posturing for a position. We do see Brightwing teleporting into Koth and Luck. They do get the vision on the Blaze and to Yusion Battery, but this is such a tough start. They're already working on the boss, but Battery looking for a flank.
Yeah, they know that they're going to start working on the boss. The rest of the team is here. Battery comes in. Here comes the rest of the team. Cattle tries to get to the mosh pit potentially, but gets stunned immediately and can't even get that down. Now Cothan gets stunned, trying to get back to his team too. Is shielded, does have Ignore Pain to try to sustain through some of that damage. Sundering comes out though. They are going after Cothan.
Yeah, Cothan getting very low. He's cutting back. He's not dying yet, but that boss is on core. Gilly, the shield is falling, taking so much damage. They're trying their best to defend it. Great VP coming out from Glaurung. They have to burn this boss down. Disintegrate coming out. It's going for the damage. Ring of Frost goes out. Only connects with Claudius so far, but the core is exposed. All the members of Blaze are trying to burn it down, and I think that's going to be it, Gilly. Game number one, going over to Team Blaze.
Wow, what a back and forth game between both of these teams, playing their hearts out, realizing how important this match is, but it will be Blaze who goes into the next one up, feeling pretty good about that, I have to guess.
This has to be demoralizing for Cognitive. They had control of the early game and the mid game for almost the entire time. There was that one team fight top where Blaze got control of the game, but the deciding factor was there at the end when Claudius got that bolt root on the Glaurung. That's what opened up the window to get the double boss and go for core.
Yeah, that was beautiful play. It was the play from Glaurung too, though. Like everything he used, he was trying so hard to get away. It was really cool to see. But we are going to see some of the replays that happened throughout this game. What a fantastic, 28-minute game on Curse Hollow. Very back and forth between these teams.
Yeah, really, really well done. I mean, and Cognitive, man, they lost to Blaze yesterday. I know they weren't expecting that. Their tournament life is on the line. They have to be shaken up. I mean, look at regionals last year. We saw both Glaurung and Iacona playing for Cognitive there, and they made top 4 at the last regionals. They're on the verge of not doing that this year.
But there are so many good teams this year at our regionals. I mean, think about how even our last match went between both Tempo and King of Blades. King of Blades were able to win that first game. It's really amazing.
Yeah, really, really well done there from Blaze. I mean, they're really stepping up this tournament. I mean, I'm impressed. DXN, man, this is a sub. You know how terrible I would feel if my team were going into a tournament the days before it starts, especially one this big, with a sub, and they're showing who they are. They're not changing their styles. They're not changing anything. They have a completely different player. I mean, some people consider Jason the best player on the team, potentially one of the best players in North America, and they don't have him here.
Yeah.
And they're still doing this good.
They are. DXN has been, his Tassadar play has just been excellent, and I love that they were able to. They knew his play because he's been playing with Yuge and Cladius, so they were able to adapt him in very well. It was a great pick to be able to have him, and very, very fortuitous even that they had been practicing with him already.
Battery doing 32,000 damage to heroes that game. Keep in mind, Battery was playing Muradin.
That Thunderstrike!
Oh my gosh, that rewind. You
Thunderstrike.
cannot mess with a Muradin 1 versus 1 at level 20. The rewind, the double stun rewind Thunderstrike almost soloed Glaurung. If he had one more attack, anything to help him do that, I mean, that just shows you why Muradin is still a highly contested hero.
Now that was Blaze's battleground choice. So next it will be Cog's choice. Will it be Infernal Shrine? It's going to be Sky Temple where we choose to make battle. And that's a very large battleground. Global, we saw it in the last game, Brightwing. It's very likely we could see that again, maybe with Falstad as well, because of how big the battleground is.
Now, I know these guys are thinking about this set right now, Gilly, but the winner of this set goes on to play Naventic. That is a scary road. I mean, this match alone is a rivalry that's been building over the last few months. It's been such a tense set between these two guys both of these days, and then they have to go through the potentially best team in North America. These guys have a long day ahead of them, but they're both looking very fantastic. I mean, despite those last maybe 5 minutes of the game for Cognitive, they played the early and mid game perfectly. You can't just look at the last ending that they lost. They played so well. They just need a few adjustments to their late game, how they're doing the shot calling for those team fights, and where Glaurung is positioning himself, and they're still very much in this series.
Yeah, the competition gets tougher and tougher, and it is still a best of 3. What happened before when we had Blaze versus Cognitive? I believe it was Blaze who won the first game and then lost the second one and took it. Cognitive was the ones who took it to the game number 3. So they're still definitely in this series.
Well, draft is starting, guys, here on Sky Temple. Team Blaze up 1-0, and they do have that first pick, first ban. Now, last draft we were talking about how teams are adjusting how they're drafting this tournament, and they've stopped first banning Zeratul, or they've stopped first banning Rehgar as well. So they do have the potential to pick one of those up. Now, if you don't want either of them, if you're afraid of like the option of both teams getting one, you ban out one, and then if they don't ban one, you get one, and if they ban both, well, you know, you get what you want. So there's a lot of thought going into just this very first ban for first pick. It's very cool, this tournament, how that's adjusted from day one.
It has, it is. Now looking at this, I mean, Falstad is a concern. Not sure how much Falstad we see coming out from Cognitive. Raffle's been playing it some.
They haven't played it much this tournament. I know they've played Falstad a lot in the past, but I don't think Cognitive has been picking them too much. I believe we've seen a decent amount of Falstad played by Rafflecopter this weekend, though, from Blaze.
You know what's been really interesting to me is no Kael'thas.
I mean, you know, he got nerfed pretty hard, and he's on that verge where if the stun meta comes back, we'll see Kael'thas. That's the power of Kael'thas, is that gravity lapse. He has the follow-up for those CC chains, but because of the changes to Ronda, the changes to Cleanse, as well as the recent changes to Kael'thas, we're not seeing that CC log, the stun-heavy meta that we saw about a month and a half ago. So with the changes to his damage, as well as the changes to you know, the meta itself, he's just barely not viable.
The cooldown on Phoenix too, but
yes.
Yeah, it's just really interesting for me, I guess, in the sense of he was almost in every single game in past tournaments, and then to go to the point that we're at now. Blaze going to ban Zagara. Another first ban on Zagara. It's the second one in this series, but it makes so much sense. She's such a good solo lane hero, and she has a lot of vision that she can provide, especially around the temples, around that middle area. You know, they have the watchtower up in the top, but between mid and bot, there's a lot of open areas where ganks can happen, and having creep there around that boss area can be very beneficial to a team.
A lot of pro players refer to her as a very easy to play and safe character. You know, just because she's easy doesn't necessarily mean she's bad. It just means you're more guaranteed to get the maximum value out of this character. The hardest part about her kit is, of course, the Devouring Maw, and we've seen great Maws all weekend, specifically from both Cawthon Luck and McIntyre. They've been playing Zagara out of their minds, and the ban is going to be on Jaina, so Cognitive is going to go for the option of letting both of these picks through. We should be seeing potentially a first pick on Zeratul from Blaze. It depends on how Claudius is feeling on this map.
I don't know, though, because then they give up Rehgar, but then there's also the problem of Jaina getting banned, and if they don't get Li Ming here. So I like that ban on Jaina, because now they're really forcing Blaze to think about, you know, Zeratul, so strong, the Void Prison can change so much. Rehgar, they're a highly contested pick. They first picked them in 5-ish games so far. Blaze have, and yeah, there it is, going to be the Rehgar.
Giving up that Zeratul, which is, looking at last game, I think Team Blaze is okay with. I mean, Glaurung Zeratul was on point. Most of those games, those VPs were great, but they were able to play around it, and they're Cognitive instantly locking in the Zeratul Li Ming. I like that Li Ming pickup.
Yeah.
you know, they change it up to where they ban Jaina this time. And I think I agree with you completely. That is so smart. That allows them to deny the Jaina play and then pick themselves up the best mage.
Yeah, it was brilliant to be able to do that too, because it really limits Rafflecopter even more. He's known for a lot of Jaina play before, has been showing great Li Ming play in this tournament. Now what do they put him on? They put him on the Falstad. It may be a choice here. Thrall also on the table, and with the Zagara ban, we could see that picked up here from Blaze, as that is another solo lane hero, but it looks like Tassadar for now. They know that's been working for them.
DXN, they like putting him on him. It's a nice, safe hero. You know, great survivability. Has a little bit of both as well, as with the support as well as the damage action. And, you know, to be fair, his force walls have been on point. He's got a lot of heroes, as well as he's, you know, defended points as well. That boss at the top right, when they was being pushed by Cognitive, that force wall is perfectly placed to zone them out.
All right, so they have Yuja's hero, DXN's hero, and with picking up Muradin, Battery has the warrior he wants. So they already know they're not going to get maybe the first choice for Rafflecopter because of Jaina and Li Ming being out. And then Cladius, he's pretty used to just kind of flexing into something strange, something more normal, just depending on how he's feeling. We could have a Rexar, an Artanis, or a Thrall.
One day we'll have Rexar back. Team Blaze, I like this draft a lot. We're in a situation, I mean, we just talked about why Kael'thas is going down. There's also another reason why Kael'thas is out of the meta, is because there's so many really good damages in the game. I mean, we still see Bala and Sylvanas towards the bottom end of things, but with both Li Ming, Greymane, and Lunara being the most recent additions to our hero pool, and all three of them being very highly contested, you have the option to pick up these comfort, more supporty type roles like the Rhaegar, the Tassadar, and the Muradin. Before, it was very highly contested damages, but even with these mid-tier bans and the potential next two picks for Cognitive, Team Blaze still has an army of damage dealers that they can pick from.
Yeah, they have a really good support system core going into what they choose to fill out with damage, and Illidan is going to be the ban from Cognitive. It makes sense. It's a big battleground, and with Rhaegar Tassadar, that has to be frightening to have to look at an Illidan.
Cognitive didn't have a choice. They had to ban Illidan. I've seen Illidan games and scrims with Rhaegar Tassadar, and it's just not fair. That trio should just be banned from all games because it is that good. Cognitive with the next two picks, insta-locking that Falstad Johanna. They know what they want to play. Caterpillar going to be playing that Johanna. I believe it'll be Cawthon on the Falstad and Faye on the Li Ming. Not 100% sure on that one.
Ditto. But they are really targeting Rafflecopter.
Yes, they are.
Jaina ban, Li Ming pickup, Falstad grab as well. They also have, you know, it's great to have burst and sustained damage between those two, but those are all heroes that we've been seeing a lot of from Rafflecopter here. So now what do they pick? They have those two, Rafflecopter and Cladius left. What will be their choices? You mentioned Lunara was still up. More of a late game hero. It takes her a little while to scale into those. Or that.
Of course.
Or that.
Of course.
How could I forget?
It's Team Blaze. It's any map that Team Blaze is playing. You know, there's always that potential for Cho'Gall. We've seen them banned a lot versus Blaze, and you know, Cognitive was just a slip up to let them through. Now we're going to be seeing Iacona playing Lieutenant Morales, but this is a scare. I want to say this is a scary draft from Team Blaze, but they lack so much damage. Yes, Gall is probably the highest damage dealing assassin in the game. You consistently see him doing like 30 to 40k more damage than other heroes, but with Muradin, Tassadar, and Rhaegar being the other three picks, they have a lot of sustain, sure. They can really live a long time, but if Iacona, which we've seen him do in this tournament, goes Mule, and it's these like contention points, I think that Cognitive can out-rotate Blaze and win this game. This is a really interesting draft from Blaze. It's so hard to just be like, Blaze loses this draft when they have Cho'Gall. Because they have to, it's Blaze with Cho'Gall. They don't lose with that. And Cho'Gall has a 100% win rate this tournament, Gilly.
Now I'm wondering who will be on what. Will they put DXN on the Tassadar?
Rafflecopter is going to be on Gall, and DXN is on Tassadar. You are correct.
All right, so we know how it's going to be. Can Blaze close it out here, move on to face Team Naventic in the semifinals, or will Cognitive once again be able to bring it back to a game number 3 versus Blaze in this revenge match?
Revenge match, Gilly, but Cognitive, man, they have to be stressing out right now. This is their tournament life on the lines. We did just get done watching Jake and Dread cast the last elimination match for Tempo Storm versus King of Blades Alpha, and that went to game 3. Will we have the same situation here?
Well, we are about to see, guys. Get hyped because it's game number 2 between Team Blaze and Cognitive. Can Blaze take it home right here, go to the semifinals, or can Cognitive somehow bring it back? They really want to be able to have that chance to go up to Team Naventic, but we will see as we get into Sky Temple.
Here we go, guys, on the left-hand side of the map. Tournament life on the line. Give them a cheer in chat because it is Cognitive Gaming. Caterpillar playing Joanna. Cawthon Luck on Falstad. Iacona playing Lieutenant Morales. Glaurung yet again on Zeratul. And running out the team is going to be Faye playing Li Ming.
And playing for Team Blaze up 1-0 in this best of 3. We have Battery on Muradin. Yuge playing Rhaegar. It will be Cladius playing Cho and Rafflecopter playing Gall. And finally DXN playing that Tassadar.
Such a tense game for Cognitive and Blaze. I mean, this is Blaze's, I believe, very first major event they've competed at as a LAN, so making top 4 their first time would be huge for them. And Cognitive, of course, considered one of the best teams in North America, highly expected to make that top 4 very easily, is struggling in this tournament. This is such a crazy set between these two guys. The rematch is awesome, and we'll see who's going to come out top. Glaurung doing a little bit of siege damage here. I mean, Faye showing off what Li Ming's potential is siege-wise in the early game.
Looks like they want to have Tassadar up in the top, so I'm wondering who will go into the bottom. Might be Yuge who rotates down into that. With Falstad, Cognitive have a great potential for more of a lane soak because he can wait until the last minute, until he's needed, and fly in. So looking at that first tempo phase, they may keep him down here and force Blaze to keep someone down with him to make sure they don't get too ahead in that soak.
It's not something we've seen very often recently, but Cawthon Luck playing Falstad, he's been around since the early days of the alpha. Back when Falstad was picked all the time, but you went Hinterland's Blast then, at the time known as Shock and Awe. You know, that's
yeah.
how long he's been playing Falstad. So he's very well versed in this hero, knows how to soak, knows how to engage. It is a change of playstyle when you are bringing in the Mighty Gust, but this guy's going to know what he's doing here.
The siege already coming in from Cho'Gall. That is the power of him. Gall being able to throw out tons of damage just constantly. No mana pool to have to deal with. Just keep continually throwing that down on the towers. And Morales and Falstad having a bit of trouble of stopping him from doing that. But now we do have Yuge up into the middle lane very soon. And just now, actually, the temple phase is starting.
Well, we'll see who contests these. It looks like Cho'Gall's going to end up staying bottom. Actually, he's going to end up rotating up top. Cawthon Luck going to soak as much experience as he can before rotating up, and that's going to get his team level 4 for these shrines.
Right, yeah, they are very far ahead already in experience for this early shrine phase. Cho'Gall is here. Li Ming starting to throw down the damage as much as possible. Rune Bomb going to throw out too, trying to do what they can, and Cawthon has flown in. Will they start getting into a huge fight? Everybody here onto this mid shrine.
Taking a lot of damage. Cho'Gall's getting very, very low. Good damage coming from Glaurung, and a nice condemn coming out from Caterpillar. Cawthon Luck and Faye trying to get that last amount of damage. It's just so hard without either lockdown or a lot of damage to kill off a Cho'Gall. You normally see the fights going on a lot longer, and usually the Cho'Gall can get away.
You know, Falstad is going to be great for that later on, though, because he has Seasoned Marksman, and he can get Giant Killer to go add with that. You have Lightning Rod, which is good single target damage, too. But we have a different pickup for Li Ming at level 4. It's going to be Triumvirate, which does, if it goes out to its full 65% at least of its full range, then it does reduce the cooldown from this. We'll see if we have any other orb talents or if this is just the pickup to go into maybe another style of magic missile build.
I like this style. You know, the longer away your orbs are, it's a poke build from so far away. It's very similar to the Asmodean style, except, you know, you can't lob over things. It's good at sieging, and it's good at, you know, fighting the Cho'Gall. The problem with Li Ming is when Cho'Gall gets to the top of you, you die very, very quickly. But with this far away siege, I mean, with this composition, no real hard engage besides the murder and the Cho. How are they going to get onto Faye when she's just sieging from so far away?
Looks like we are going to have a Runed Gauntlet picked up for Cho. That's going to increase the basic attack after you use Rune Bomb by 75%. Usually we see rollback there. A lot of times that's on Infernal Shrines too, because it hits the minions on the shrines on the way back. But a different style coming out, more damage, and they're going to need it. You talked about how damage could be a problem for this team.
I like the pickup. I think it's going to be very good, especially versus Glaurung. When he does come in, they get just a little bit of extra burst to bring him down. Iacona getting very low here in the mid lane. He gets body blocked by Blaze, and that's a very quick first blood going over to Team Blaze.
Great surging fist by Cladius to make sure that they could knock aside that Morales. And with that, they will get first blood. They're still about a level behind, though. The rotations are a lot harder when you only have 4 bodies on the field.
Yes, it's very difficult. You know, that's what most teams see the issue with Cho'Gall is. But both Blaze admitting that they think they can run them on every map, as well as Glaurung saying that there is a potential depending on how the compositions go, as they did run them on the Dragonshire yesterday.
Right. Top fort has gone down a little bit, but what's healing it up? Once again, Mule's going to be the pickup for Iacona on Morales. And, I mean, yeah, even the cleanse is not really super necessary from them either.
Really
it's
just Stormbolt.
yeah.
You know, a really good pickup there. I mean, I figured that was going to be the case when they went in to this game, you know, just to be able to out-rotate Blaze. This is one of the things I was worried about for their composition, is if they do get the Mule, how are they going to close out this game?
Morales is so nice because her level 7, you don't have to feel too bad about taking Cleanse or taking Mule like that. If you want to get Cleanse on like Brightwing or Kharazim, you give up a lot, giving up an Echo of Heaven or the Phase Shield. But for Morales, really, you could get clear, but otherwise, if you can get Cleanse or Mule, why not? Because it's not really something that is so necessary for you to have.
I love Iacona healing up these Mercs here, just showing the value you can get out of just a few extra seconds of those guys getting some siege damage. Full level lead right now for Cognitive, and they're getting very close to those level 10 heroics. Battery does end up scouting out Glowring and forcing him back. Glowring going to swing up mid to soak one more lave. You have Falstad still on the top, just getting as much value as he can, and then they're going to rotate down when they have those heroics, and that should be a very easy shrine win for Cognitive.
Falstad and Tacit are both trying to help their bruisers push along, and it looks like both will get taken out. Tacit are going to start the long journey into the bottom lane, whereas Falstad, he actually can't fly all the way from top into bottom. He has to move down a little bit to do so, but he's going to help make sure that they do have heroics. And Blaze, sensing this, realizing that it's almost there, going to move back. They don't want to get caught out until they can get those heroics, but with a full level, this is going to be a 4 and the rest of the temple for Cognitive.
Yeah, the problem with for Blaze right now is, yes, they did get a lot of those shots. They took down part of the wall in the bottom left, but once Iacona gets that Mule off cooldown and throws it down there, he will be able to just heal up all that damage. So unless you finish off structures with those altars, it's very hard to get anything done. Ooh. Oh, and I like this. Half a level until Blaze has level 10. We saw Cognitive throw on this boss pit yesterday. Will this be another situation like that? It's not. It's 10 versus 9, so I think they should be fine.
They also have Falstad too, so trying to come in here versus the Mighty Gust could be so deadly. And with that, Blaze still with no heroic abilities. Battery maybe looking to try to disrupt where he could, but the Cognitive is going to stay strong and pick up the boss.
VP goes down here in the mid lane. They're going to be able to catch Cho'Gall out. Gust is used very early, uses far away. The slow helping out a lot, but will he end up going down? Ancestral is connecting, and a nice heal coming out from Muse. We do see the pull in onto Iacona. He's very far extended. That's exactly what I need. Great body blocks coming out from Battery here, and he does secure the kill, and Joanna goes down as well.
Man, what an upheaval.
Archon.
Being able to get... Yeah, I mean, if you need the damage, why not?
Wow, that is so awesome. When's the last time we've seen Archon in a professional match? That is really cool to see. Yeah, not only upheaval, which Dreadnought has been hyping up all this weekend, but we see Archon. That's exactly what they need. They needed the damage.
Yep, they needed the damage. They're going to pick that up. I love also the upheaval because they want to get onto that Lieutenant Morales. The minute the Morales goes down, it makes things infinitely harder for Cognitive to try to stay into a team fight without her in the back line. So making sure that they can just pull her right into the front, take her out, burst her down before she can get back, even chasing her down with Rhaegar, so a little support on support fight there.
Full level lead still for Cognitive, but Blaze showing, really cool style this game. I ended up talking to Rafflecopter, I think the first night we were here, and, you guys got something, right? And they're like, yeah, we do. And you're going to bust it out when your back's against the wall, and which they are right now. And I guess this is one of the strikes they had hidden. Archon on Tassadar. This used to be the main heroic taken on him for a very, very long time, but his changes over time, he became more of a support and less of an assassin, and it's phased out, but it's really cool to see this heroic yet again.
Now, the big deal is they won't have that hold that thought actually, as Mighty Gust going to push Blaze off of this cap point. Glowring will pick it up and should just walk away straight from there. They're nearly to their level 13 talents. Pick that up, and once again, they can look for a big team fight, especially as the temple phase starts to spawn. But what I was going to say is they won't necessarily have, they won't have that force wall if they get the upheaval. They need to make sure they take down the target, really focus fire them down, because they won't have the force wall to keep them from running away.
Battery taking a lot of damage from Cothamluck and Faye here. He might actually go down. No, Cothamluck not going to dive under a fourth from, as he did not know where Yuge was. Level 13 almost here for Cog. There's a double temple spawn here. Cognitive going to be contesting the middle one. It looks like Blaze is wanting to fight them. Let's see how this fight will go. Upheaval is so good versus Iacona without having a real escape and no way to heal himself.
Yep, he did pick up Trauma Trigger, so that will at least help, but
yes,
it's only a damage reduction too, and if they have so much damage immediately onto him, Disintegrate goes down, Ancestral Healing brings back Cho's health bar, but this is 13 to 12 for Blaze.
That was a lot of damage very quickly out of nowhere going on the Cho'Gall. A really good job synergizing their damage, and that's going to force them to back out.
Yeah, Glass Cannon came out at 13 too, so they're feeling like they can stay relatively safe, even against the upheaval we have the Glass Cannon pickup, but they know damage is their strong point, and they need to be able to take down Cho'Gall, and we just saw how well that's doing.
Yeah, I really like the pickups here. Going back on the Cho'Gall, again, doing a lot of damage. The stun is there. Good heals from Yuge, but he doesn't have Ancestral for 45 seconds. Caterpillar actually taking a lot of damage. People goes down, and they pull in Iacona. He's getting burnt down, but a VP goes on the back whip. Nice save from Glaurung.
And the Mule comes down in a strange place, but Cattle is going to be safe as the Mighty Gust comes out to push back Blaze.
The Manor Mule.
We're just going to take that
out. Is this
out.
StarCraft or is this Heroes of the Storm?
I don't know. I can't tell anymore.
That was really cute from Iacona there. Body blocking coming in from Cho'Gall. He gets his Molten block down, but still in a very awkward position. Disintegrate coming out. He's taking a lot of damage. The cleanse goes down. Isn't enough to save him. Nice shields coming out from DXN and Cho'Gall, man, just always barely getting out of there. It's like they know the limits of this hero. They know when they have to back out.
They also have so much shielding between the Kala's Embrace from Tassadar, but also Earth Shield has been picked up. They have 13 now. Molten Block is going to be so great for Cho too. And then with the Dread Shield that Gall picked up, they have shields for days to keep Cho'Gall alive and in the fight.
And, you know, just to show the significant value of Mule, all 3 forts still stand here for Cognitive, and a decent amount of shots have been taken by Blaze, just showing you how powerful this ability is, despite when you use it in a team fight.
Yeah, with being so behind in experience, Blaze has had a really hard time of actually taking out any of the structures that they do put shots on, and with Iacona just constantly using that Mule, he's really been able to ensure that they've stayed alive. With the boss that pushed down the bottom lane, by the way, that keep is nearly about to go down.
Wow, that is very, very low. Just showing you that, you know, how efficient that Cognitive has been on this map, and the next boss is spawning in 25 seconds. So that'll be another contention point, but a full 2-level lead here for Cognitive. And guess what, Gilly? We saw this similar scenario last game on Cursed Hollow. Cognitive had a 2-level lead. They were pushing that even further when they're going into 20, but Blaze still made a comeback. It's a bit harder to do that on this map as it's very structure-based, and if you don't have an advantage in structure or anything done like that, it's much more difficult. But, you know, Blaze isn't out of this yet.
Well, they need to catch back up. They were looking for a pick right before Cognitive got to 16, but it wasn't quite there for them. Cautiously look for picks. Make sure that they're soaking any of the lanes safely that they can. Make sure they don't get picked themselves as Cognitive picking up their level 16 talents. Iacona finally did choose to get Spell Shield at level 13. Was debating between that and maybe some of the other talents, but that will be the choice. And it will be Mirror Ball, so adding more to that Magic Missile build.
Well, we'll see here what Blaze is planning to do to force their way back in this game. Like you said, that bottom keep is a tickle away, and you have to keep in mind Glaurung is on Zeratul. So that means that we'll constantly be seeing Blaze positioning himself on the bottom half of the map to try and catch Glaurung as he does go for that keep.
Yeah.
Oh, Iacona.
Or even Lieutenant Morales, who is really far forward. They're going after her. She has the safeguard down. I'm not sure if that was the trauma trigger one being activated. It looks like it maybe was, as the Pharaoh Lunge is going to do that. But Cognitive is starting to get onto the rest of the members. They're trying to make sure to keep Iacona alive, and Shadow Bolt Volley will take out Cognitive.
A little bit slow on that Void Prison there, but they do end up getting the kill on the Caterpillar. And these are the little things that Blaze has to do to get back from this game. They have yet to get a full-on team fight, though. Want to see that Archon Upheaval combo again. That's really, really cool to see. And about a half level now until they have that 16. Still a full level and a half lead for Cog.
Man, having the Cog at the beginning of the names is wrecking me.
Yes.
Glaurung is going to be able to get that, maybe. Now going to be able to get that
He's
final
gonna try
keep.
again. There it goes.
Here we go. Good job, Glau.
Nicely done here from him, securing the first keep of the game. Now shots are being taken by Blaze on 2 shrines, but there's still so much to go for. They finally secure their first structure in that top as the fort does go down. They still have a long battle to go until they're on even footing with Cognitive.
Yeah, with that big pickup on to Caterpillar 2, they've picked up level 16 talents. It looks like Caterpillar may be starting to come around as well, but thankfully they do have the Watchtower, so they can see as he starts to move in here. They need to be careful as they are 4v5 with Muradin up at the top of Battery, starting to head down. They know that a fight is very likely to brew here.
He also got most of those shots, only 5 remaining up there, so that is a lot of siege damage that was done. Middle fort just about to go down for Cognitive, so they're doing it. Battery going for a flank, though. Stuns out Koth and Luck and getting a lot of damage on him, but has to Dwarf Toss out of there. Yu's going to heal him up. Glaurung blinking in, but Glaurung now completely out of mana, and Zeratul's a very mana-intensive hero. He has to have his abilities up, or he's almost useless.
Oh, Shadow Bolt Volley just wrecks Caterpillar, and now they're going to be able to get those final shots on the mid-temple. Rotate back up, make sure to get the top temple too, with only a few shots left on that. But man, with Mule, they still are only just now working on the final fort of Cognitive.
Yeah, and if that doesn't go down from this shrine, these are almost wasted shots there. The Mule does go down. Can it actually save it there? The last 4 bursts, I don't think it's going to be enough. The Mule's just barely going to out-heal it. Yeah, so if Blaze does not secure this, all of those shots that just went to that bottom fort are going to be almost completely useless, as it was healed up. It will eventually get healed up completely.
Now, even footing, Cognitive ahead in experience just slightly, trying to pick up those level 20 Storm talents, and both making sure to check out the boss, but also start to work on getting some push in those mercenary camps. It's very important for Blaze to be able to grab their giants here because it does push out the lane where they've lost the keep, helps make sure that the catapults don't push up too close to their core, because if they ever lose a fight, it makes it so much easier to allow Cognitive to push up into that lane and take out the core.
You know, this reminds me so much of the old Tempo Storm style where they struggled in their early game and then they bring it back in the late game consistently with great team fightings. That's what we've been seeing from Blaze all weekend. I mean, last set they were down, and they know how to shot call late game. They know how to force their ways back in the game, and we're seeing it yet again. I mean, this is one of the harder maps. This is one of the more snowbally maps in Heroes of the Storm, and they're on even footing now. They are 18-18, Gilly.
They are pushing down the death bridge, so they feel very confident. Disintegrate, though, is going to melt the Giants. Will they continue to stay here? Everyone's here. Battery on the side, looking to catch someone out with a Stormbolt who might step too far forward. Glaurung watching to see Sharks circling the water right now to see who can get the first flank.
Not a single kill yet for Cognitive. That just shows you how defensive this composition is with the tanky front line. Everything is almost impossible to kill with both Yuge and Tassar in the back line, both being very hard to kill targets. And then you have the front line of Cho'Gall and Murden. I mean, it's so hard to secure a kill. They're doing everything they can to focus fire, but this is a very tough composition to play around. This is really impressive place. Oh, is Glaurung gonna get caught again?
They're into the mid. He will be able to blink away. I have Kalrog showing as he's moving which way he starts to move. He has to use
VP,
Void Prison,
wow,
though.
Force VP. This is so good for Cog. Or for a Blaze, excuse me.
Yeah, that's pretty big. Now, the boss is still up. A Temple activating in just a few seconds. What are Blaze going to do? They're posturing around this.
They're going for boss, and this is going to do a lot of damage in that bottom lane. It's a single shrine. Cognitive is smelling it out, but they don't have VP. It's going to be so hard for them to contest. His boss is at half HP. They do scout it out, battery in position with the Disintegrate, but that's down for a while now. About 10 more seconds until it's back up. Ironskin has been popped very early. Boss about half HP. DXN taking some damage from Glaurung. Already used his first phase shift. Glaurung doing a lot in that backline actually to DXN. He only has his second pop. An Archon pop very early from him. He's trying to kite back as well as he can. Good shield on himself, but Yuge trying to keep him topped off. Not enough damage, and wow, Cottonmug getting burst down very, very quickly, but a beautiful gust right when Shadow Bolt Volley came out.
That was so good. I was just thinking how risky it was to try to go for that boss against Mighty Gust because of the fact that he can just barrel roll in there, Mighty Gust them away, and steal the boss from under them. But using that Mighty Gust to make sure the Shadow Bolt Volley was completely wasted and did not take out a person, and just in time for the Temple as well, Zoya.
Well, about half level still. Cognitive still having a lead as they're up to 1 keep, as well as about to hit level 20 here. A lot of damage going down onto Cho'Gall, but no Ancestral has been used just yet. And we're constantly seeing these potential flanks from Faye, Glaurung, and Koth and Luck, but there's just so much defensive capability coming out from Yuge and DXN. It's so hard to get a kill. Ancestral used very early there, and Yuge is going to go down in the backline to Glaurung. Nice shields from DXN, but will he get away? He's running with his mount. He's trying to get Glaurung, and Glaurung's being turned on pretty hard. He doesn't get used. He has to blink out.
Upheaval did pull some members back in, and he's still going after Iacona too. They've pushed back Cognitive completely and haven't lost anybody, but Cognitive are closer to their Storm talents. They need to make sure that they don't just give that to Cognitive for free.
Nice heals coming out from both Yuge and Iacona. They're keeping their entire team up. Battery does miss his Stormbolt, but still Cognitive in a very good position. They have those Bruisers pushing top lane, and they're so close to those level 20 Storm talents. Blaze either needs to force a fight right now, or they need to just go soak somewhere else, because they're not going to be able to fight 20 versus 19. They're chasing Glaurung. He's very overextended here. This could be bad if he goes down. How long on Void Prison? It is up. He might be forced to use it yet again. He does get refilled, and that's another VP use, but he only catches one person in it. Glaurung has no mana to get out of here. They can get this kill on Cloud yet again, and he will go down. There he goes. They do secure the kill on him, but they do end up getting 20 for it.
That was a really great flank, too, from Cho'Gall and Tassadar. One on one side of the VP, one on the other, too. Just trying to collapse onto him, but 20 picked up. Cognitive does have their Storm talents, and with that are going to have to move back with that takedown on Zeratul. So even though Blaze didn't have 20, they are still going to be able to get the last few shots from this Temple, but we keep talking about it, the mule. It didn't take down a keep.
Yeah, it didn't take down a keep, it didn't fish the wall, so that's going to be able to get healed up here. And, I mean, yes, they're different maps, Gilly, but the story from Game 1 is almost the exact same from Game 2. Cognitive with an early advantage. Blaze forces a team fight and gets back in the game, and then late game, Glaurung gets caught out of position, and it gives Blaze an even advantage, and they're able to secure a big map advantage where they're trying to contest this boss. Battery taking a lot of damage. Yuge is actually really late to this fight, but he does have Ancestral up. Battery should not go down to Cawthon Luck.
He's going to start to heal. Not sure if he'll try to use, I think they were trying to bait out that Ancestral potentially. Blaze has to play far safer once that is used, so good job of not throwing that out just yet as they're still burning down this boss. But once again, Falstad is here. They need to be so careful. Zeratul is on his way back to this fight as well.
Disintegrate used very early here. No reset for it as no kill has been happened. Still no a single kill. Oh, but they kill the point in the last second. They're contesting it. Shadow Ball volley goes out. No gush just yet from Cawthon. They push them off the point, but Cognitive does get the boss.
All right, Iacona gets pulled back in from the upheaval. The upheaval and the Mighty Gust went out at the same time, so it was a bit of a wreck, but Caterpillar does have Indestructible. It will get popped. Disintegrate tried to push back everybody, but with a good Surging Fist, they force back Li Ming. No takedowns on the side of Cognitive. Everyone from Blaze alive, but they did lose the boss, and that is heading to core.
Yeah, that's going to core with the Giants already pushing it down, Gilly, so they have to respond to this, giving them no time to react or nothing to do with that 40-second window that Falstad said. And I gotta point out the Dark Archon pickup at level 20, Gilly.
Nice.
It does 50% more auto attack damage as well as the increased range, and we saw how much damage DXN was doing in that fight, yet somehow Iacona kept the rest of his team alive.
Pretty sure it gives more health too, so it's just
more initial shield, 50%.
Yeah, so now they have 3 tanks basically, but with the Cho'Gall, the Muradin, and Tassadar and the Twilight Archon. Now the next tempo phase is starting, and this is going to be really rough for Blaze. They've already lost 1 keep. They didn't lose any core damage though, and that's great they were able to do that, but they're about to lose another keep in mid, and there's 2 temples activating right now.
Well, we'll see what Blaze wants to do. I mean, keep in mind, again, they have that mule, so they need to make decisive plays here, and they're actually going to Cattle, and he pops Iron Skin very, very early here, but nice knockback.
They're going to push back Cognitive, and with Zeratul on the core with some Giants, Falstad holding that bottom temple. It's the power of Falstad is he can fly to wherever the other team is not, and with the limited amount of bodies that Blaze has, it's hard for them to respond to every single location. They are holding this. They sent back Tassadar to deal with the Zeratul. Still no permanent core damage. Doing a really good job of calling these shots so far.
DXN doing a good job of saving that core. Glaurung almost got some permanent siege damage there. But the fight top is happening. FaZe very overextended. I don't know if anyone can keep her alive here. Nice juke so far. Shadow Ball volley comes out. That is a very dead Li Ming.
Li Ming down now for 60 seconds. The top temple with some shots left as well as bottom. They look like they want to try to get more takedowns. They want to try to end this right now. Maybe get a good push in because the temples have not really. This. Yeah, it's been difficult for them, but if they can push into this top, they can ensure that they get a keep down.
Not only ensure a keep, but they can potentially go core with this push. That's why you're not seeing them split up to contest bottom trying or defend their base, which is taking permanent core damage, by the way, as all 3 keeps are now down for Blaze. They're on a very scary window right here. Their core is backdoorable. Tassadar does go back to defend it. We do see Zeratul's heading his way there as well. No fly in from Cawthon Luck just yet, and Blaze going for the safer option to defend. They could have potentially gone for a base race, but they know that if they lose that base race, that would be devastating for them. They want to win this game. They want to guarantee it so they get that top 4 position.
Blaze also knows what it's like to go after a core with a Zeratul, as they do that all the time.
Yeah, and they mess it up a lot too.
So they understand exactly what if they can do that.
Oh, the back door's taking so much damage. Oh my god, 65%. That is a lot. But they're going for it, Gilly. They're going for core.
They are.
Yuge taking a lot of damage. They have to hold this defense. Battery does pop Avatar very early. VP on the core to stall it out. Battery needs to get to support. Yuge is inside the VP. Nice to stall out from Battery. They need to keep themselves alive. DXN is not here. Storm Shield has been used. The core is taking damage. Shadow Bolt volley doing a lot of damage, but Muradin is the first to fall in this fight. 84% on the core. Mule's going down as well. Yuge is very low. DXN is here, but will that be the death of Cho'Gall? He's doing as much damage as he can, and I think this is a big throw for Blaze. Dark Archon has been popped. Yuge did get taken out by Cawthon Luck, and that's going to be the death of Tassadar. I cannot believe Blaze went for that. That's all 5 members dead. This is a free win for Cognitive. They're moving across the map, and they're going to tie up this series.
Falstad starting to fly in as much as possible. The GG well played, already throwing out, and Cognitive able to bring it back, even though it looked so scary for them at the end. They finally lost a keep, even though they had that mule, but a really good job of zoning Yuge away from anyone who needed that ancestral healing. That was a huge factor for them being able to move him away.
The game was decided that the moment that they pushed into core without Tassadar. I cannot believe that decision making. That was really, really sloppy shot calling coming out from Blaze. Trying to win that, you're already down a member as you have Cho'Gaw. It's a 4 versus 5 in this game, but not having Tassadar with you was a really unforgivable mistake on the end of Blaze.
Yeah, I think they just felt. That always happens to you when you're up against a team with Mule. You feel this like constant pressure to make sure that you take down these structures. You actually take them down when they get low because of the Mule. Otherwise, you're wasting time. You're giving time to the other team to be able to come back, to crawl back into the game.
Taking a look at hero damage, I mean, one of the few times we see someone out-damage a Gaul. Gilly, 93,000 damage done by Faye that game, doing about 30,000 more than Gaul.
Wow, that is a lot of damage, but Li Ming did get caught there at the end, but that was another factor, is that she was back by the time that Blaze did finally choose to push in, as we're going to see here, to the core. But I love the zoning that happened from Cognitive here, being able to save this, keeping Yuge away constantly. First from Battery being able to heal him back up, but then Cho'Gaw as well.
Yeah. It was Blaze was doing a great job of forcing themselves back into the game. I've seen consistently through Blaze's games as a history, just as a team in general over the several months we've been casting them, that they have really a big struggle with dealing these things. But guys, we're gonna go a quick commercial break and we'll be back.
Terra Marines are the toughest frag magnets in the galaxy. But when they're in trouble, guess who they call? Medic! Winning a battle is more than just shooting enemy soldiers. It's about saving your own. I protect every member of my squad with my life. Sometimes I think I'm the only thing holding them together. Who am I? I'm Lieutenant Morales. I'm your medic. I'm gonna need a lot of bandages.
Every game today thus far has been an elimination match, and everyone has gone to game number 3. These sets have been so close today, Zoya.
Very, very close. I believe yesterday's set of Cognitive versus Blaze as well was a game 3 match. So really showing how evenly matched these two teams are. Really impressive from these guys, but this is it. This is so much pressure on both of these teams. I mean, both of them want to. I don't think that Cattle, Faye, or Cawthon have ever made a top 4 placing in a tournament, so they're really, like a major rather. So I know they're wanting to do that, of course, Blaze as well.
Man, Iacona, look at those healing numbers on Lieutenant Morales last game. Morales was so important there. A lot rode on whether or not Blaze was able to grab her with the upheaval and actually take her out in the fights, or whether she was able to get away. And then the mule was so important for them too. But now we're going to be moving to Battlefield of Eternity for game number 3.
Yeah, it was really interesting. I love the Morales versus that composition specifically. It's not a lot of bursts. A lot of it comes down to, do they get a kill in that upheaval, but it's a lot of poke damage from the Tassadar and stuff. So, you know, it's sustained damage that Morales is just constantly healing. No problem keeping that up. So ended up working out very, very well. Battlefield of Eternity is a frequent map we've seen throughout this tournament, and you know, it's one of those maps where we don't tend to see very long games, and it's almost kind of snowbally. Whoever wins the early game, whoever has the better siege draft, tends to win it.
Now, we talked about that yesterday when these two teams faced off. It was Blaze who won game 1, Cog won game 2, and then Blaze won game 3.
Really?
But game 3 was on Sky Temple last time, and that is where Cog just beat Blaze. So we just saw them come back in after their brief break. They were all smiles, Zoya. I think they're feeling pretty confident about this series.
Yeah, they're probably very comfortable on this map, have a draft and plan, but here we go, guys. It is underway. Cognitive Gaming with that first pick, first ban. Another thing we've been discussing with the teams is the evolution of not only just how you're banning, but which thing you prioritize when it comes to winning the coin flip. Most teams went into this event wanting maps, but it's shifted to every team now that at least I've talked to wants first pick over map pick.
Yeah, it really just depends on the meta and how many strong heroes there are, what role is considered to be stronger between them. But it also sometimes just comes down to personal preference, whether you feel better about a battleground or whether are able to kind of shift your choices of picks based on that. But Li Ming going to be the first ban from Cognitive.
Yes, they're probably wanting to get out, you know, the Zeratul here from this, and not willing to give Blaze the Rhaegar Li Ming. Actually, no, Cognitive giving up the Zeratul. They're willing to let Claudius get Zeratul if they wanted. I think they've let Zeratul. I don't know if Blaze will let Zeratul through to Glaurung with the Rhaegar as well. I think they're almost forced to pick the Zeratul here.
Yeah, but you know, they really like to play the Zeratul Abathur together, and
not that good on this map.
Without Jason too. Jason is their big Abathur player. I wonder if they'll still be willing to do that. Cognitive has some good strategies coming out right now.
I don't know if we got a chance to talk to Blaze about that. Do they have an Abathur player here?
I actually talked to them a little bit, and they said that, you know, DXN can play him, but Jason's Abathur, man.
Oh, he's one of the best. I think he's second best in NA, right behind, well, not right behind Fan, as Fan's probably the best Abathur in the world, but very close. And yeah, it's like I thought. Team Blaze cannot let Zeratul through here. Really good on this map at sieging the objective, causing disruption as well. And it will be Jaina.
I like the Jaina pickup. They know that Li Ming has been banned out. There's been a lot of contention over these two mage ladies, but Rafflecopter, it's a very comfortable pick for him too, to have that Jaina as we go into the next set of picks before the second tier of bans. Now, Cognitive, what do you think we're going to see from them coming out? They have Jaina taken away, likely some damage already since damage has come out from Blaze.
They need some siege damage, something like a Sonya that can really contest those Immortals and burn them down. There she is, Sonya Tassadar, you know, one of the better heroes on this map. A lot of it comes down to just focus firing down the Immortal, who can win those. Usually the team that gets the first two Immortals can snowball it in their favor, and Sonya having one of the better siege damages, the more consistent in the early game. Usually, you know, whenever there's a Sonya as well as more siege damage on one team's end, the other team is usually forced to, you know, fight and defend their own Immortal, because you just can't you can't outbeat a Sonya's damage on the Immortal.
Right. So Blaze now have their ban. I was wondering if it was once again going to be ETC. We've seen a lot of second bans on ETC from them, and also just the fact that Cognitive has yet to get a warrior, and so Blaze can now pick up Murd in there and kind of limit the amount of heroes that Cognitive can choose from for that role.
Well, next ban coming up here for Cognitive, looking to see what they want to deny. Potentially banning out of support. I wouldn't mind a Lieutenant Morales ban here. Yuge is really good on Morales, one of his best supports. You know, forcing him onto something like an Uther might be in their favor.
Thinking this over, they will also maybe pick up another damage dealer. I guess they could also go for something like a double warrior. I like the Morales too. I think they're just making sure they cover all of their bases.
And ban out the Muradino.
Oh, okay.
I like it. You know, you have a lot of auto attack damage so far between Tassadar, Sonya, and Rhaegar. So Muradin with the reverb, as well as just his good disruption. You know, peeling off of a Sonya. You know, really valuable ban right from Cognitive. Next two picks for Team Blaze. Let's see what they want to lock in. They still need that support. They still need another damage, and they still need a warrior. ETC banned out, Muradin banned out, so will Johanna be the option here for Team Blaze?
Yeah, when we see Muradin taken from them or banned against them, Johanna has been what they've picked in the past, and I think they'll definitely want to grab that strong frontliner right here, knowing that it's Cognitive who also still doesn't have it. So they still will be able to further limit heroes from that pool, from that role. But now Johanna will be picked up. So we have Cladius, we have Rafflecopter, still waiting to see what they'll do for DXN. They don't have Tassadar this time.
Is Cognitive going to go Cho'Gall?
I was wondering. They have Rhaegar.
Well, he does not have a 100% win rate anymore, as he did just lose on that last map. No surprise seeing the Lunara, great siege damage, good on this map. Will Cognitive go the Cho'Gall? There's, you know, when it comes to Warriors, the big three are Ban, Muradin, ETC, and Johanna. Stitches is still an option for Caterpillar to play. I feel like if they don't go Cho'Gall, we almost have to see that Stitches play. We could see potentially like a Leoric Sonya. I'm not a big fan of that on this map, though.
I've seen them play Cho'Gall as the solo warrior, too, without having another warrior.
It's going to be Greymane. Okay, so they will end up picking up a warrior. Will it be Stitches with it, or are they going to go for something a little bit unorthodox?
So Stitches? We haven't seen. Have we seen a single Tyrael?
It's gonna be solo warrior Leoric. Okay. No, we have not seen any Tyrael. That is an exclusive Korea type playstyle. They love Tyrael over there. We do see Tyrael pop up a little bit in EU, but I don't know the last time we've seen Tyrael in an NA match. That is not a warrior that this team likes to run very often.
Well, I like the Lunara pick. Let's see what Yuge will get to close it out to support Team Blaze for this final game on Battlefield of Eternity. Morales still an option. They may be concerned of being able to keep her safe with just the Johanna, but with Zeratul constantly lurking around too, that might be an option for them to be able to just, you know, keep that fear and hopefully keep people away from the Morales if that's what Yuge wants to play. But Brightwing, we see Yuge sometimes play her too.
What will be this final support pickup for Team Blaze? They could do something a bit weird, go for like a solo support to Ronda, but that I don't know how good that would be.
What about Lili?
Lili? No, I don't think so. Blind is nice. Blind is nice,
okay.
But the healing there's so much damage just coming out from Sonya Greymane that you need more consistent heals. When it comes to interrupts, there's only Spear and I guess Leap to interrupt the Jugs. But we'll be Lieutenant Morales.
A girl can dream of pandas, okay?
You can dream all you want, but Blaze isn't going to make that dream a reality. They're going to stick to their guns here. Yuge, a fantastic Morales player.
He is.
Really, really good. We'll see what they can do with this draft. I mean, there's a lot of damage on both ends, but I think I like Cog. It's so hard to want to cheer for a Leoric team. He's in such a really awkward spot as a warrior. Until the Leoric pick, I was very happy with Cognitive's draft. I still think I want to give it to them slightly.
Yeah, think about Entomb. Entomb will be able to grab Jaina. I mean, Johanna even. She really just has Iron Skin to kind of try to prolong if she gets stuns and to give her a shield. Lunara, too, and then Lieutenant Morales. So there are some good options for if they want to pick off somebody with an Entomb.
Yeah, we'll have to see what they plan to do with their heroics and how they're going to play this out. This is a very tense match for these two Team Gillies. This is it. If you lose this game, you are out of the North American Regionals. Winner moves on the top 4 and gets one more chance to qualify for Korea.
Here are the rosters. It will be Cladius playing that Zeratul. We have Lieutenant Morales with Yuge too, and everything looks very normal. DXN will be playing Lunara.
Yeah, and we see that flexibility from him. Sometimes we see the Tassadar played by him, the Golf specifically, but we've seen him on both Li Ming and Lunara as well now, so really showing his diversity as a player.
Well, this is it, guys. Game number 3 between Team Blaze and Cognitive Gaming. We're going into Battlefield of Eternity. Winner of this faces Team Navintic. Loser of this is out of the tournament.
Here we go, guys. Cognitive Gaming here on the left-hand side of the map. It's going to be Caterpillar playing Leoric, Faye playing Tassadar. It's going to be Iacona on Rhaegar, giving us a little bit of a dance there. Glaurung going to be playing Greymane, and Cawthon Luck rounding out the team as Sonya.
And once again, in the red is Team Blaze. We'll have Yuge playing Lieutenant Morales. Battery on that Johanna Cladius playing Zeratul, DXN on the bouncy, adorable Lunara, and finally Rafflecopter playing his Jaina.
Man, look at that vote.
Wow.
71% in favor of Cognitive. The fans are out there for him. But guys, show your support for Blaze. They're playing this tournament with a sub, and their results could not be more impressive. I know every team went into this event saying we thought Blaze was going to be the #1 contender for that group, but they have a sub, and now we're doubting that. But they're showing you that DXN is here. He's a good player, and he deserves to be playing with this team.
Yeah, we want to see your votes, so make sure you tweet using the hashtag HGC. There we go. And the team name of the team you think is going to win. Something like that.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
You got it down there. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Taking a look at these talents is going to be a block on Sonya. There's a lot of auto attack damage coming out from both Lunara and Zeratul, so playing for a more safe style allows him to siege the Immortal better while you have, those annoying pokes coming from Lunara.
Yep, and we will have Wolfheart as the choice for Greymane, so that will mean that the longer every second that you keep the duration going, or every second that you have your Inner Beast going, basic attacks can reduce it down. So making sure that you have Inner Beast up more often to make sure that you have that increased attack speed and can siege down the Immortals faster.
Well, let's see here who's going to win this top lane. Tassadar versus Zeratul. This is a pretty easy fight for Faye to win. Not only does she have the Oracle to reveal the Zeratul, but much better push. So this is going to be a tough lane for Claudius up here. And in the bottom, of course, with this 4 versus 4. I don't think either side should win this. I kind of like the side with Rafflecopter and Lunara. They have really good wave clear, but they're not being really aggressive as the positioning from Cawthon Luck and Cattle is just forcing them back. They can't get forward to out-push this bottom lane.
I like the Protoss Brethren up in top facing off against each other, but if Zeratul ever leaves the lane, it's something that Cognitive needs to be aware of, and instantly you have to fear if he's coming in for the flanks. But now we do have the first Immortal phase starting, and the fight is happening, breaking out around Bel'Eth.
Yeah, this is what we talk about. Whichever team has the faster siege, the other team usually ends up defending. That's what's happening here. There's so much damage onto this Immortal, and look how well they're tanking it. The shields from Faye and the heals from Iacona, it makes the damage almost non-existent. None of these guys are hurt yet. They're defending on top of it. That's a huge, huge win here for Cognitive.
Yeah, Ilarion has barely been touched. I think Zeratul was working on him slightly, and yeah, this is going to go straight over to the side of Cognitive. That makes it even more difficult for the defense, but they are trying. They're going to force a Wraithwalk out from Cattle, who takes a bunch of damage and does get shielded back up. Yeah,
a little bit of a misplace there, misstep from him. As the rest of his team did go back to tap well, he was the only one forward, so he did take a lot of damage. Still trying to defend this out. Lunara is slowly whittling down the Immortal for Cognitive, but Cognitive looking to force this fight soon and get as much siege damage as they can, but Cawthon Luck being separated by Rafflecopter.
Both teams neck and neck in experience, looking to pick up level 4. Neither really moving down to get the soak just yet. Cawthon trying to maybe find Rafflecopter, has not done yet. But speaking of Rafflecopter, is very low on mana. Yes,
he cannot really contest much more. But so far, good job from Blaze. Cognitive finally realizing that Blaze is doing damage to their Immortal, and they're going to burn it down. This will be an Immortal very quickly here for Cognitive as they're just about to hit level 4.
It's fairly well shielded, about a quarter of its health left as Ilarion slams down onto the battlefield and will start pushing down into the bottom lane. Level 4 picked up from both teams. We'll see what talents they choose to go with.
Looking at them, they're pretty standard across the board. We will be seeing the block from the Morales just to make himself a little bit more tanky versus that Sonya and the Greymane. A lot of damage can come out from those guys, especially when you see the aggressive styles like Tomster and Glaurung have, diving those backlights with Greymane.
Cladius is going to go for Master Warblade. There are a lot of different choices we see from Cladius at that level, sometimes the Vampiric Strike, but this time trying to make sure that he can get more damage out of those auto attacks, especially when consecutively attacking a target, which makes a lot of sense, especially when you are sieging these Immortals for a lot of the game.
Immortals getting cleaned up very quickly. Usually with these first Immortals, you don't get more than a front wall, and that's exactly what Cognitive got. So they're going to be happy with this win. A half-level lead right now. Still no kills on either side. Both teams playing relatively passive, just going for the Siege War. And Blaze is going to have to, play a little bit differently for this next Immortal. They are trying to force this fight, but they're being more safe with it. They're poking very slowly, positioning as well as they can, but they need to either hard engage or try and go for a trade. Sometimes if you know you're going to lose the Immortal trade, sometimes that's okay. Just get as much damage onto your opponents as possible so the shield on it is much more lower.
I like the Master Warblade pickup because Zeratul can go after the heroes and really make sure that he uses that to proc off, while Lunara is the one who will be trying to siege down the Immortals. We can see how they're going to try to defend. Johanna is really good at helping defend too. So with that, with the fear of Zeratul and being able to throw out more damage like that, and allowing Lunara to siege it down, especially once she gets the Nature's Culling too, we'll be able to bring down the Immortal a lot more.
Good job scouting with the Wisp. DXN showing that he does have an understanding of this hero. Wisp is something that I talked to K1 Pro a few weeks ago, and he said that Lunara has a lot of potential, not from the damage he does, but from the Wisp. He feels that no one uses Wisp properly. But at this event, we've been seeing people finally using Wisp as an aggressive scout to protect teammates. Most people were using Wisp initially just to defend the Lunara's lane because she is a very squishy hero, but now we're seeing Wisp go so far out on the map to just scout as much as possible.
Nature's Culling picked up for Team Blaze, level 7 on both sides, and really good job. Oh, Cladius spots out that Iacona was trying to wait for the Immortals to start spawning before getting the Bruisers. It's always really nice to have them pushing, and in fact, Lieutenant Morales doing the same on the side of Blaze, but Cladius not able to contend with both Rehgar and Greymane there, but being a little cheeky.
Yeah, Farsight picked up from Rehgar as well to help with that Zeratul. The reveal is very, very important. They've got a lot of reveal. They got the Tatsar Oracle. You mix in with that is so many ways to find where Zeratul is. The race is happening here. It's a very close one, but it looks like Cognitive going to be a little bit slower on this one.
And they're going to clash, clashing in the middle and going to move back. So this time you have to reach over to your opponent's side of the battleground just slightly in order to start attacking this Immortal. And Blaze are already set up once again for the defense, but they're going to have to start getting out there and making sure to push people back, because there is some good poke from Tastar coming in, from the Gilnean Cocktail now too that will be thrown out.
Yeah, this
is push them off.
This is a really good positioning for Cognitive as they're slowly whittling down their opponent's Immortal, just getting as much free siege as possible. They're also rotating the lanes to soak as much experience as they can. And the moment Iacona showed himself top lane, Blaze started getting a little bit more aggressive, and it forced them down to stop soaking that experience.
Frost Armor for Jaina, trying to help out with that Sonya and Greymane damage that will come in. The Condemn pulls Cawthon into the blizzard of Rafflecopter, but still everyone from Cognitive nice and healthy. The fact that they have that double support to help sustain it. And as I say that, Cognitive Greymane gets taken out.
Yeah, Gladwong dove really deep without Iacona. The rest of the team just seemed to be on the different pages, and they do end up getting the Immortal, but will they lose Cawthon, Luck, or Caterpillar as well? Cawthon definitely going to go down here. No saving that. Will Caterpillar get out? He does get the Wraithwalk. He's pretty far away, so the rest of these guys should end up staying alive. Cattle getting slowed right now. Battery coming in from behind. The blink forward to body block him. Claudius doing a great job so far, and Cattle might go down. The shield not enough to save him. The nice heal from Iacona at the last second. He does not go down. So really good job from Blaze getting those kills. It's going to make this Immortal a little bit less valuable.
All right, so the Immortal is starting to push up into the top. A lot of the members still down here in the bottom, though. They know that their fort is already weak down there, but it's going to be hard to try to stop this, as Cognitive already are pushing on there. So they've got this siege going on multiple fronts in both of the lanes. Lunara starting to rotate up to try to help clear out this Immortal even faster. Blaze slightly ahead in experience, but Cognitive with that tower and with this siege damage onto the fort are going to catch right back up with that.
Oh, nice defense here from Blaze, but really good job. I mean, the shot calling on both sides is very, very good. I love the aggression coming out from Cognitive. Experience dead even now because of these trades, and both teams hitting level 10 very soon. See what heroics they're wanting to pick here. This is a very good tier for Blaze, as you get. This is when both Zeratul and Lunara become a lot more valuable.
Yeah, and even especially at 13 too, if we see Lunara pick up the unfair advantage where her Nature's Toxin does 50% more damage to enemies who are slowed. They have slows from Jaina. Johanna provides a slow with Punish. Singularity Spike also a slow. And then of course her crippling spores too. So they have a lot of synergy on their team. Yeah,
this could be a lot of damage coming out of Lunara very soon. We do see Claudius solo soaking that bottom lane just to make sure his team does not fall behind. All 5 members of Cognitive looking to do a push up here. They do use the far side to reveal this area, and I think they're going to go for it, Gilly.
It is Entomb, picked up for Leoric. We talked about there are a lot of good targets for that. Stim Drone going to be the choice for Morales. Who do you think that'll be on? You think it'll be Zeratul or Lunara?
More than likely it'll be on Lunara. Zeratul is going to have trouble just consistently getting auto attacks off on the same target, where Lunara, with the range increase she eventually gets, can just go over and over, just constant auto attacks on that front line.
Being Zeratul trying to push back the bottom lane, making sure that both teams are soaking both of those lanes. It's always really important that you get those, and especially while the Immortals are down, as once those come up, you have a lot of people out of the lanes wherever possible, and so doing a good job of keeping up with that. Once again, Iacona, I don't think he's going to go with Bloodlust, but we'll say maybe just for Jake.
Just maybe.
Just maybe.
But doubtful. Sorry, Jake.
Like a 10% maybe.
We did see Archon Tassadar. You know, maybe we might see a Bloodlust and Odin like the old school style back in the day, but very, very unlikely. We do see that the Immortals have spawned on the defensive sides of the map. Cognitive getting aggressive right out the gate, though.
All right, Blaze. Once again with the defense, they've been on the defender side, but it has not worked out for them. They have lost 2 thus far, and they would like to be able to get aggressive, get a couple of takedowns right here so that they can move in and get their own Immortal. Faye already has taken a lot of damage, and Tomb went down. Jaina gets taken out. Glaurung in trouble, though, and it's a 1-for-1 thus far.
Zeshro not connecting with Glau. That's a really big loss for Cognitive. I feel like Greymaine's a big, significant part of these team fights here. BP goes down. Cosmluck is isolated. He just trying to get side of it, and there he is. He is in it. Can Blaze get more kills out of this? Cosmluck getting very, very low. Ancestral was up, but no use from Iacona there. And now Cattle's going to go down. Blaze suddenly up 3 heroes to 1.
And they're going straight for Alarian. They know that they have that siege damage on lock with Lunara as they start to burn him down. Trying to catch back up, but Faye and Iacona are going to do what they can. They do have Greymane back up. The respawn timer is still fairly low. And Leoric, remember, will respawn right where his ghost is now. So they can get back in, and as soon as he comes back up, go for the chase.
Oh, DXN very overextended, but great heals coming out from Yuge, but Cattle going on top of Yuge as well. So far, great positioning so far. They need to disengage this as well as they can. Claudius gets the blink out there, and Tomb goes down. There's 2 Tombs in a row that Caterpillar has missed, and I think this is going to allow Blaze to reposition himself and survive. And yeah, they're all alive, but Yuge completely out of mana. DXN as well as Claudius all very low. They need to tap well before they re-engage this fight.
They have the tap, they have the time, because just now rather the Berserker being used to try to take down the red Immortal, and now Blaze coming back into this Cattle, and a lot of the members of Cognitive trying to stop them where they can. Blizzard goes out onto several members, but DXN in a lot of trouble. The heals from Yuge have just been insane, even moving up to body block a little bit to try to help them out, and they are going to be able to get the Immortal and stay alive.
But that was only Greymane and Sonya on the Immortal for Blaze there, just showing the amount of siege damage. Why I said Sonya was a priority pick on this map. Those 2 burned down almost all the Immortal health of Blaze before Blaze could get half of the health of Cognitive. Yes, it did go to Blaze, but those 2 did an immense amount of damage to that Immortal.
Level 13 picked up for Blaze now, a slight advantage from that, but knowing that this isn't a very shielded Immortal and that it's going to get taken out very quickly from Cognitive, they're just going to move back where they can, already get into position so that they can keep up the lane soak. Maybe try to catch somebody in some rotations after this, but the Immortal already has been taken out.
Well, level 13 picked up here for Team Blaze. Cognitive just barely behind them. Still Blaze or Cognitive with that map advantage when it comes to structures. Top 4 very low, or at least exposed. 3/4 HP on it, and bottom, of course, was cleared up earlier. So Cognitive still with that advantage. They just need to get level 13 and try and fight a little bit better. They need to be on the same page in these team fights. Glaurung keeps making these really good plays, diving the backline, but the rest of the team is not with him when he does that. They need to be on the same page and go for these playmaking things as a team, not just as one person.
Tassadar did spot using the Oracle that Claudius was up here picking up the Khazra, but wasn't able to do anything in time for it. And now they look like they were maybe circling around the Bruisers. Not sure if they've already taken them out and are just waiting to cap it or not, but they'll also want to grab those in time for the push. And we could have a potential fight here. All of the members of Cognitive up top, are they going to push onto that or invade? They might invade these Bruisers.
Do they get over the wall? Cosmluck looking for the spear potentially, and he gets over, just connecting the battery. Great invade so far, and Claudius is very overextended, taking a lot of damage. Cattle and Cawthon are both clumped up inside of Blizzard though, and Cattle going to be the first to fall, and Blaze somehow gets this point. They do end up losing Zeratul though.
It's really big that they've been able to keep DXN alive, because look how much damage every
Faye.
single auto attack does. There goes the Thornwood Vine. They're trying to slow down Faye, who will get taken out. Rafflecopter in trouble, does have the safeguard on. 2 members down, but it is Zeratul down 2, so it is a 2-for-1 thus far in favor of Blaze, but they are not done yet.
Cognitive Caterpillar just about to res up though here on Leoric, going to be able to disengage for his team. Glaurung not going to fall. Good job from Cognitive keeping everyone alive so far. Level 14 to level 13, still a big advantage for Blaze, and they're immediately working on the Immortal of Cognitive.
Yeah, that spawn point was perfect for them. They are fairly low in mana. Rafflecopter completely out too, and they get stunned by the Immortal, so they need to be careful here. And Entomb goes down just as Cattle comes back up. Cawthon trying to spear into Yuge, and DXN in a really tough spot. DXN should go down here. Somehow Morales is keeping him alive. I have no clue how.
VP used just to fully disengage for Battery, but Glaurung diving deep on the Rafflecopter. Was this a mistake, actually? He's taking a lot of damage, but does get back. Claudius does blink over the wall. Blaze showing insane aggression so far.
So Blaze did get a lot done to that Immortal, but didn't quite get to the halfway point, and they had to get out. From all of the fighting, they were low on mana, they were fairly low on health too, and it's really important that they make sure to keep a nice health, a large health bar, or mana bar even, on Morales, because she has been integral in being able to keep those damage dealers alive, despite the dive from Cognitive thus far.
Cognitive with that advantage on the Immortal right now, just showing you the siege damage that these two heroes have between Greymane and Sonya, and they're burning this last one down, and Blaze knows they have to contest this. They won't win the race. They're forcing Cognitive back. They're trying to get a kill. Sonya getting very low. Caterpillar might go down as well. Sishal does connect with with Cawthon, but Cattle does be the first to fall in this fight.
Yeah, and Tomb was not enough to stop them from that, but they still have a lot of people up and can tap and get back into this. And because of that, Blaze realized that they have to keep people at the defense, so the damage to take down Ilarion is going to be a little bit slower. Once again, it is going to be Lunara just trying to take this out as much as possible with the rest of the members defending.
Well, they do collapse onto the point, doing as much damage as they possibly can. Cattle just about to res, but it looks like the Immortal's gonna go down, but a big blizzard, and Lunara doing so much damage. Cognitive is getting completely wiped right now. They do get the Immortal, but Cawthon Luck falls, Caterpillar falls, Faye just barely getting away.
Man, that Thorn, the positioning could not be better for Thornwood Vine. They stood right in a line, and immediately DXN threw all of those out. Yes, they lost the Immortal again, but with all of those kills, Cognitive are not really gonna be able to do nearly as much with this Immortal as they would like.
Well, that was a big misstep from Cog. I understand the decision to try and force onto that Immortal and get as much damage as possible, but they lost huge here. Not only is the Immortal going to be cleaned up very quickly, it should get the fort, but they lost the fort of their own. They lost a lot of experience there, as now there's about to be a 2-level lead here for Blaze.
Yeah, I love the pickup of Invigorating Spores on Lunara, not going for the more range on Starwood Spear, instead going for more attack speed with this. She knows that she's been very safe thus far. She has Morales pretty much constantly as a pocket healer. It's like Morales and Lunara right by, and then Zeratul and Johanna working to make sure to protect her, and with that she can pick that riskier talent, but it really has been paying off thus far, especially in that last fight.
Taking a look at the hero damage, Lunara way on top with 52,000. Right behind him is Jano, played by Rafflecopter, 41,000. Third on damage for a moment there was Joanna, Battery in these fights, but a lot of damage going down here, and Tomb has been used. Rafflecopter still alive. Yuge, you are an insane Morales player. How are you keeping your team alive through this damage?
Yeah, the Void Prison down on 3 members of Cognitive too, and everybody's so poisoned. Glaurung likely will go down here. So low, the force wall comes out to separate, but it's not enough. Once again, Glaurung is taken out.
Wow, this is such an insane game here. Blaze showing the composition here, how powerful it is in the late game. Caterpillar is going to fall as well, and they're still increasing this lead further and further. They're about to have level 18 versus level 16. They're still behind in structures. It looks like they're going to siege down this last fort. That'll even up the game on structures, and with a 2-level lead going into 20 soon, Blaze is in a really good position right now.
And I love this too, stealing the bruisers. That means they won't have to deal with those pushing onto their structures during this next Immortal phase. Instead, it's going to delay Cognitive even further from getting set up for the Immortals in just 20 seconds.
Well, level 18 here, 16, finally getting those talents. This is a big tier for Rhaegar. This is one of the stronger talents in almost the entire game, I would say.
Yeah, Rising Storm is really amazing, and especially if you can put it on someone who's going to be right in the middle of the heroes, maybe right in the middle of Lieutenant Morales, Lunara, and Jano. We'll see if they can make that happen, but meanwhile, Cognitive is coming in, trying for the invade on their own. You saw the Farsight get put down to see if they'd already picked it up, but both bruiser camps will be taken, but an Entomb is down, Zoya.
Yuge taking a lot of damage in that blizzard. Glaurung immediately going down, but the Ancestral connects in the last second. Claudius is very low. Cattle at the front line taking a lot of damage. Might go down to Lunara here. Ice Block has been used on Jaina, but the front line for Blaze is getting annihilated. Joanna and Jaina fall. Yuge completely isolated from his team by Cawthon Luck.
And the force wall there was so perfect to help Cognitive get those takedowns. And now for 40-some seconds, no Johanna, no Jaina. The J ladies are down from this fight. So immediately we're seeing Blaze just go after the Immortal and try to take it down as much as possible. Did I just tilt you on
you
Sorry.
tilted me. That was funny. Nice job from Cognitive, finally getting a fight that they wanted. I mean, I think there's two things that happened in that last fight. You called it out. Faye with that force wall was perfectly placed, and then Cawthon like going so deep onto that back line. It isolated Yuge from the front line. The force wall trapped those two heroes there, and Yuge was not able to get in position to keep them alive.
Well, the halfway point has been hit once again, and Tomb is down onto Yuge. Can they take her out before she gets... Yeah, that's going to be an insta-death on Lieutenant Morales, and that means no more contesting this Immortal phase.
60 seconds, he's down. This is huge for Cog, Gilly. Blaze needs to stop these staggered deaths right now. If this keeps happening, Cognitive is going to hit 20 when they do.
Right. The Faye once again has to go back, clear out the push from the bruisers that was happening in the minions onto the top keep. But, man, those things will push for forever.
This is a big Immortal push, Gilly. This is 18 versus 19, yes. Cognitive, if they play this right, though, they can even up the experience game. They need to get a front wall. They need to get a significant experience lead from this push.
25 more seconds until Morales is back. This is really nice, too, that it's pushing up top. That is where they took a lot of damage from those bruisers, too. So if they can get the keep down here first, they'll be the ones to get the first catapults pushing. It's a well-shielded Immortal that's getting into the late game. It's 20 minutes into this. Team Blaze closer to level 20, but still don't have it for this defense.
The front wall taking a lot of damage. It will definitely go down. Yuge back in the fight in 3 seconds. Gilly, half level until they have those Storm Talents. Blaze desperately wanting that, but will they lose this keep before they can get it? The shield is still very healthy. The Immortal's starting to finally take some real damage here. The keep's falling so quickly here. There's no way Blaze can save this.
Yeah, they're going to have to just sack the keep, but make sure they don't lose the game by getting caught from that, and just work on the Immortal now that the keep has gone down. Cognitive, with that, has nearly brought back the experience, taking down this mid gate so they have a nice open
this
path.
Is so smart.
Yeah, open path in case they win another fight the way they just did.
Not only opening a path, but taking out the well, as there's only one well in the bottom line now, but a big 3-man VP. They're going for Iacona, but he's kiting back. No Vorp will play this game, so he can't really get on top of him. And Tomb does go down, catching Rafflecopter. And Caterpillar definitely going to go down here. That's a very early stim drone. Actually, Cattle gets far away. No, Callius will secure that kill. Wow, great heal so far. Cattle somehow still alive. He finally does go down to DXN here, but he is York. He'll be back very, very soon.
Yeah, and it took them so long that the rest of the team was able to get out in time. But now what can Blaze do with this? They have Storm Talents. There are some mercenary camps on the field. They can try to siege, but they do need to remember that as soon as Cattle comes back, he will be there and he will have Entomb and be right in the position to use it. He's already done that to them before.
It just depends on when he spawns. Does Cognitive have 20 for that? They might not be looking to force a fight right when he spawns if they don't have their Storm Talents just yet, and it doesn't look like they will have those for when Caterpillar spawns.
That should be enough poison to take out the tower. It's going to tick down very slowly,
boom.
And boom, it blows up. Okay, so they've at least taken down most of the wall except for that gate into the bottom. So now I've opened it up to both of those keeps, and that'll be great. If they end up picking up the Immortal later on, they've already taken that down, so the Immortal can go straight to the keep.
Well, there we go. Finally, Storm Talents here for Cognitive. We are on an even game. I love the Storm Shield pickup on Tassadar. Love Rewind on Rhaegar. Really great pickups from these guys. Allows a lot more sustainability and to help survive through that Lunara damage.
Most of the Greymanes I see go after Hunter's Blunderbuss, which has your human basic attack splash, but this is Tooth and Claw coming out from Greymane, from Glaurung as well. It means that your basic attacks in Worgen form cleave. We know that he likes to play aggressive, and that's going to help him do so.
Well, Cawthon taking a lot of damage. They're on the point. Tomb goes down, but a big VP in the backline, and this is really bad. Cattle's going to reposition himself, but Zeratul ended up dying there. It's a 5 versus 4. Good Storm Shield coming out from Tassel. They're trying to reposition himself. Battery very low. Faye taking so much damage from DXN, but that is Stim Drone has been used. This is a big win for Cog.
Yeah, that's a bad time to lose a member of your team, as the Immortals have just started to spawn, and we've seen how fast Cognitive can take down these Immortals. They've already started working on Blaze. All they can do is try to make sure that it's not as much of a shield for the Immortal as it fights, but they're even going to have to move back here. They have mercenary camps pushing toward their final keep, and they need to keep it as healthy as possible because that push is going to be going straight to it.
I bet Blaze, okay, I thought they were going to go for a force fight here. Blaze probably wasn't expecting them to do that. They're going to go ahead and get this Immortal down. This is the safe play from Cognitive, and I think it's the smarter one. This is almost a fully shielded Immortal here for Cog, going at an exposed keep. Gilly, this could very much be Cognitive making top 4.
This could be right here. It all comes down to the defense of Blaze. They will have Zeratul up, but they don't have Void Prison for 36 seconds. Now, it takes a long time for the Immortal to march down the lane. it's going to be hard. This is going to be a tough defense, but they have to do it right here.
It's a tough decision to do. Do you want to go force the fight as early as possible, or do you fight underneath your keep and core? Looks like Blaze is wanting to be more defensive about it. Battery and Claudius looking for a flank right now. Immortal is pushing here. This is such a scary moment here, and they are going to force the fight a little bit early here. They're not willing to fight inside their base. They want to get it going right now. Caterpillar doing a lot of damage to Battery here. Rafflecopter very far away from his team, and that's great heal so far onto Battery from Yuge.
Yuge doing a good job at being chased down by Cattle, who had the Wraith Walk. Going to start moving back toward his team. Rafflecopter from the side gets spot out from the flank too. And for now, this has been great for Cognitive. They've all stayed alive.
Yes,
and this
has
been
great for them.
Yeah, this Immortal has been great. DXN getting caught by the Force Wall. Safeguard goes down. He's trying to move back. He does have he will get taken down by Iacona, and that's a big deal that Lunara is gone.
Lunara's gone. That's going to be the death of Jaina as well. The Immortal's going for the core, and I think Cognitive Gaming has done it. They're going for it. They still have 5 versus 3. They're trying their best. Joanna's going to go down. Only Yuge and Claudius dead. The core is falling. I hear Cognitive Gaming cheering. They know they are on the verge of making the round of 4. One step closer to Korea. It is at 40%. They can't do anything. GG's been called, and Cognitive Gaming takes the series.
Cognitive cheering as they take the series. They get the revenge onto Team Blaze into Game 3. It looked so close back and forth between these teams, but Cognitive able to move on to face Team Naventic in one of our semifinal matches.
They still have a terrifying road to climb, Gilly. Naventic considered the best team in North America, one of the best in the world, but they look so relieved right now. They're excited at this victory, but you have to give it to Blaze, showing up at the biggest competition that North America has with a substitute and giving such close sets.
You know what that reminds me of is when Cognitive played with Ivy Slime
at last
Vegas.
regionals.
Yeah, and did the same thing. Ivy Slime really surprised us, and DXN played an amazing tournament all throughout this weekend, but Cognitive is the one who will be able to move on. They have to feel so great knowing they got taken out by this team, and it even looked bad game number 1, too, when they lost to Blaze, but being able to bring it back in 2 and 3, I cannot wait to hear from them.
Yeah, that was such an impressive set from COG. I mean, from both teams, but you know, they really pulled it together. Blaze had that early game. It's a reverse of the other games where Blaze had that advantage and Cognitive was able to pull that back. I mean, just showing you the power of that Rehgar TAS support style.
Yeah, it was a great draft, too, for the Battleground. The way they were able to take out the Immortals really forced Blaze to come to them, to come to fight against them. But it was just too much for them to deal with. The constant just siege into the backline made it hard to ever really keep everyone safe between Jaina Morales and Lunara.
That is so exciting. We now have our top 4 here at the North American Regionals, Gilly. Cognitive Gaming is going to be joining Tempo Storm, Cloud9, and Naventic.
So it will be Tempo Storm versus Cloud9, and then Team Naventic versus Cognitive Gaming for our semifinal matches. And the winners of those get a trip to Seoul, South Korea to compete in the first Heroes World Championship this year.
Yep, we're so much closer. 2 more best of 3s, and we'll know which teams are going to North America. That is, or to Korea for the championship. I'm so excited, Gilly.
I'm so pumped too, but I want to hear from Cognitive, and I hear we have an interview ready with Anna.
We do indeed. I am here with Iacona. Congratulations, man. This means that you are now in the top 4 for North America this year. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you were also the top 4 in North America last year with your team.
Yes, at Vegas last year for the Road to BlizzCon, we were top 4. Last time we played Cloud9 in the semifinals. This time we're playing Team Naventic.
And this was a hard-fought battle. I mean, this was not an easy way into the semifinals. Did you expect it to be easier than that, or does it feel right?
I think we expected maybe to be a little bit easier, but Blaze really showed up today. Like, just props to them today and yesterday. Like, they played really good games. Like, it's just, yeah.
We can see the respect between you guys and the friendship between you and all of the team's casters. I know that's something you love as well. Do you have any questions for Iacona here?
Yeah, we've been seeing a decent amount of Cho'Gall this weekend. You guys were the first team to actually beat a Cho'Gall. He had a 100% win rate until that Sky Temple game. What are your thoughts on Cho'Gall in the current meta? How do you feel playing against him?
I think Cho'Gall definitely has a place in the current meta. It's just you can't really slap him in any comp. You kind of have to draft around him, and oftentimes, or almost all the time, you'll see him paired with the Rehgar. So that's just kind of like the key linchpin to a Cho'Gall comp, I feel. And it's a little bit interesting, at least when we played against it, we had Upheaval, but it's also I was playing Medic, which I think is a somewhat common pick. So it's just a little bit, because usually they go Hammer Twilight, so it was just a little bit different to play against the Upheaval.
That's actually the question that I wanted to ask you is did you expect the upheaval at all? And how did you feel about that as the Morales player, knowing that you constantly were going to be a target for getting pulled in and out of position?
To be honest, I expected it, especially today because they played it yesterday. But even yesterday going into it, I was saying that it was going to be upheaval. And it's just, you just have to position properly. So sometimes we took bad fights in the middle of the lane where I can't hide behind anything. But like on mid-tempo, for example, there's like a random column on like the left that I would just kind of keep hiding behind because you can't pull me through it. So you just kind of have to, it's even more about positioning than Medic already in titles.
It was absolutely a hard-fought match. We really enjoyed it. All of us were on the edge of our seats here. And I know that for you, this has a lot of meaning. Let us kind of into your mind as a pro gamer, because I know you left a full-time job behind to go full bore into pro gaming, and now you've got this top 4 this year and last year on your resume, and you're hoping to add even more. Let us into how you're feeling right now as you move into the semifinals.
So I'm feeling really strong. Like going into last year in Vegas, I was feeling pretty confident. But this year, I feel our roster's even stronger. We have a lot more experience. We've had more time to prepare. So I'm feeling really good going into this this tournament. Originally, I was a little bit shaky around Vegas just because in June, I quit my full-time job at Google to start in the June July and August opens for Road to BlizzCon. In June, we kind of bombed out. Like, it's not really bombing out. We took a game off of Cloud9 Maelstrom, but we only took top 16. So it was a little bit of depressing at that time, but we really came back in July and qualified there and was looking really strong. And it's basically just been an uphill trend. Like, I'm just feeling more and more confident about my decision the longer I've been in the scene and the more I've got to play.
There is so much on the line, I know for you personally and for all of the teams here. And now we get to see things really heat up as we move into the semifinals of the North American Regionals. We will be right back with that after this.